And we are back. We're live. Welcome back to the Cheech and Manny show. We are now doing another detour among, well, probably like among the first of many to come into the true crime world. We are going to analyze and dive deep into the mind of Charles Starkweather. And
Yes.
you may ask yourselves why? Well, it's because of Mr. Springsteen. He
Yep.
inspired you and me to kind of look into Charles Starkweather and why. And in some of the Nebraska episodes, we
Oh
delve
yeah.
into why was Springsteen obsessed with this guy, right? Charles Starkweather. And then
Yeah.
so this whole show and this episode today is about exploring the man Charles Starkweather among the many serial killers that leaves us perplexed and left Springsteen perplexed, right? But let me
Yeah.
throw it to Cheech. Cheech, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. How's it going, Manny? How's everything? How
Oh,
was
dude,
vacation?
life is good, man. Life is good, brother.
Great. It's great, man. Yeah, I think things are good here. Doing good with Potter's Field. Just been writing more episodes. For me and Mr. Silkman, we're co-writing an episode together. That's going to be really cool. I'll keep it on the hush hush till we put it out. As you know, it's going to be a great episode. Uh, we just put out Desire, which I recommend our fans watch it because it's like a class in going to college on Bob Dylan. We broke down ISIS alone is just if you just watch ISIS, it's worth it on that.
I think we're like if anyone wants to become a Dylanologist, watch our Bob Dylan episodes because we give you, especially with Desire,
Yeah,
which it's sad, but that I think is going to conclude our for now our Bob Dylan series.
I think so.
Unless whatever we do other episodes, and it's funny because Dylan does have a, a, he had several comebacks, Traveling Wilburys,
Yeah, yeah.
and in the '90s he released this album. I think it was called Time Out of Mind. I think,
Hmm.
which was produced by Daniel Lanois, and that served as a comeback for him. Which is
Right.
kind of interesting. But other than that, I think his '80s output was a little spotty at best.
Yeah.
But
It,
Desire,
it's hard for
Mike.
him. It's hard for those guys to even the band. They tried in the '90s, and it wasn't. I mean, the band did okay in the '90s, I think, because the hippie movement came back a little bit with the Black Crowes and Fish and stuff like that. So the band kind of
Mm.
got jumped on that. You know,
Yeah, and I think it was in the '90s they had this album. I forgot the title of it, but they have a drawing of the Pink House, and they actually covered Atlantic City, right? Talking about Bruce Springsteen,
right? Yeah,
which I'm not sure if it became a hit, but I saw the it's so cool because it's like Levon Helm on a ukulele, and just singing, his heart out to the
yeah,
song. And obviously, who's not around anymore in the
yeah.
90s band?
Oh,
Robbie
God.
Robertson. He definitely
Manuel. You
is
know,
sad. It's not the same band, but yeah, you're right.
wait, Danko.
Uh,
Danko was still alive, I think.
he was there, yeah, yeah. But many of them, yeah, like Richard
Yeah,
Manuel was gone, which we figured out, which I didn't really realize how much of a vocalist he was, and
Manuel. Yeah, yeah.
responsible for,
Oh yeah.
some of the best songs of the band's catalog. But
Uh,
anyway, but yeah, so we are going to jump into Charles Starkweather.
yep.
Strap in, don't get frightened. We're
Yeah.
going into this dark world, and we are actually like the Nebraska album cover. We're seeing a bleak road
Oh
here.
God, this guy. True crimers who don't know Charlie Starkweather, he is one of the sickest. He's not a serial killer now. He's a spree killer.
Hmm.
And I even I got some advice from Manny Grossman on this because I didn't know much about spree killers, but I researched it, and it's somebody who kills in like 3 day period, like goes
Like a
insane, just goes out.
like a burst,
Yeah,
yeah. It's not plotting or methodical,
no,
or there's really there like a serial killer has a pattern, right?
yeah,
A spree killer just shoots. Like it's like they could have a sword, like a katana or something, just start. It
yeah,
doesn't matter who it is.
yeah. They'll just kill, and he killed literally just any.
And it's interesting because, like, for example, Bonnie and Clyde and the 1912's gangsters, they were spree killers
Yeah,
because
yeah,
town to town, they had the famous Tommy gun, which just
yeah.
sprayed bullets everywhere and
Oh yeah, yeah,
caused
yeah,
a lot of, there's a lot of great movies that kind of depict that. Al Capone. So these guys are spree killers. The
yeah.
mafia is always spree killing
Even
because,
say westerns, like some
yeah,
of the James gang. Although Jesse James didn't try to kill people, but sometimes they would just shoot the bank teller. Just give the guy the
yeah,
money,
yeah.
run. But
The difference with Starkweather, which for us piqued our interest, and as Springsteen said at the end of his song, like they're like why did you do it, right? And he's like, I guess there's just some meanness in this world, and you can see kind of those creepy eyes saying that.
yeah,
He
yeah,
did it for no rhyme and reason, and
no,
it's shocking. So strap in and learn, you know, uh, evil, true evil,
yeah.
but
He is true evil. Starkweather is true evil, and he was a kid. He was 19 years old.
which
So
is interesting, right? And he got the electric chair, which that's always kind of sometimes controversial, especially like the death penalty.
at back then they didn't play in the 50s.
No, especially in the South. And actually, there's a movie called The Green Mile that kind of is like a
Oh
Stephen
yeah,
King's critique of the death penalty, and
yeah.
it's always controversial, like really. But yeah, any before we begin, any shout outs, and then what?
Um, Always a shout out to Potter's Field. To my boys.
The
Uh,
People's Band.
People's Band, of course. Always a shout out to Mr. Silkman, who did such an amazing job on Desire. He really brought so much to the.
He's like the third, I guess, official at this point, co-host.
Yeah, he's the third co-host. Yeah, definitely. So,
Very knowledgeable. He's like our Led Zeppelin expert.
yeah,
We have we have like, like you're like the Black Sabbath like metal, me, Springsteen,
yeah.
Beatles, it's just crazy how we have our expertise
It's
in our
beautiful.
show.
No, that's what makes it. And
Oh, and Iron Maiden, Cheech,
oh,
that's
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
and Rush, even though I come up to you close second, but
Yeah, and I mean, you turn me on to so many things, like especially on Bruce Springsteen. Like I'm really like I'm writing what you call it the River. I'm on like the
mm,
third the first side of the double album. I'm starting to write that. I finished the first side. That's such a great album. Oh my god, it's like
mhm.
so I'm down the Bruce Springsteen wormhole, and this is cool because it all ties in. Starkweather ties in with this, and this is what I love about this. How it's like a coincidence, but at the same time, it all makes sense. Like we're doing true crime, we do Nebraska. Oh my God, this guy Charles Starkweather, he's a serial killer. Well, we're doing this
Mhm.
true crime stuff, and then I'm like, I gotta look this guy up. I heard about him, but I didn't know that much about him.
Right. And again, yeah, and we have to think. It's crazy how Springsteen. I've been knowing the song for years, not
Yeah,
thinking much of it. I love the song. It's so good, even though it's like really dark. Like
yeah,
Springsteen. Anyway, but when we get there, watch our Nebraska episode too, which
yeah,
is if you want to, for all fans out there, it's already out. We actually Desire's out and Nebraska's out,
yeah.
so
They're out.
enjoy that. Give it a like and give it a comment. What do you think about our coverage of these topics? But anyway, so we'll end the intro here, and then we're gonna dive into some history.
Deep dive, right? Definitely. All right, cool.
All right, good day. This is the Cheech and Manny show. I'm Manny. I'm joined by my co-host Cheech, and today's topic is going to be a true crime special. It's going to be a true crime podcast. We're
Yep.
going to be talking about the infamous spree killer, Charles Starkweather, and the
Yep.
reason why is because it has a tie-in with Bruce Springsteen, and so. We're gonna ask you guys watch that Nebraska episode because we're actually gonna talk about the serial killer that was the inspiration for Springsteen on his song
Yep.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Cheech, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. How you doing? How's everything?
Life is good, man. Enjoying the summer. I was actually back at the temple. The priest welcomed me. I know you have something to say
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
priest.
So,
But go
I,
ahead.
I mean, I had a great day with my beautiful daughter. We've been going to bookstores a lot. I've been
Dude,
like,
that's awesome. Now, by the way, is that the Barnes and Noble in Yonkers?
I think it's either Hartsdale or Yonkers on Central. There's two of them. There's two of them, and they're both equally amazing. And I
It's
got to send you
store.
the what's that?
Isn't that an amazing store and the book selections that you're
Oh,
finding?
it's ridiculous. And the record selection. They have one of them has a really good record selection. And I forgot to send you the book I almost bought today
Yeah,
about
yeah,
about cults, because I think that might be another topic to dive into. Once we get into the true crime
I agree.
deeper.
I agree. We should do like an episode on the psychology of cults first, like
Yeah.
break it down. And I have some cool psychological research I can find, and then tackle some of the infamous cults. So like
Oh
science,
yeah, they're
like
all in this book. It's
heaven.
crazy.
Well, that's great.
And
Maybe
it's
we can go in that
beyond.
order.
It's like beyond satanic. It's like Manson and the Jim Jones. It gets crazy. But yeah. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Pottersfield BX. How about you? Any shout outs or anything?
Honestly, shout out to all the people that show us love, show me love. You know
Oh
who
yeah, yeah. Oh,
you
and a
know.
shout out to Joe Silkman for doing an amazing
Oh,
job on Desire. We just wrapped up Desire, I believe, 2 days ago, and
I'll do
Joe, he
it.
killed it. He brought up stuff I didn't
His
know.
insights it's so great. It's great because he comes at it from like a fan perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
Love. And I'm not saying that we're not fans, but we're more kind of like more
On hands in the knowledge of studying
yeah, yeah. We focus
crazy
more right,
facts.
right.
You know.
But shout out to Joe, and we're hoping he can, well, no, not even hoping, definitely be joining us for more episodes. If we should
Oh
have
yeah,
segments like the Cheech and Manny and Joe show.
yeah. And I really am looking forward to the show I kind of wrote in my head already. All of our favorite concerts. Before I go to bed, before you get in that hypnagogic state, hypnagogia, you start to like daydream or sleep, before you go into a dream. And I actually write shows in that state,
Perfect hour.
so I was like,
Oh, you have help from Mr. Your cat, Mr.
yeah, Mr. Black,
Black. And
and I came up with every show. I guess I went into my Akashic records of concerts, every show I went to. And I was like, oh my God, it's almost impossible to narrow down like my favorite show. Like at least five Rush shows, three
I
Maiden
think it
shows.
should be an ongoing segment, you know?
Yeah.
We're not just gonna throw it all in one episode, but talk about like our first concert and then keep talking about like we'll each pick a concert experience and like talk about
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
man.
I know we have many. It's crazy. I have like many just in
And you
club.
guys saw the bands when they were like in their prime.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Like
crazy.
I remember I saw Neil Young, and mind you, he was already. I don't know if you've seen him. Like, he looks pretty good. I saw him back in 2011, with a girl that obviously I went because, the girl invited me. I'm like, ooh, let's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then Neil Young, I was like, what Neil Young? I mean, I know the song Cinnamon Girl, but that's it. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it was really life changing because I saw him at Barclays Center, and I thought it was the most coolest concert. He was jamming. He released this album called
Oh,
Psychedelic.
oh, cool. Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I had to take this call, but no. Okay.
He released his album called Psychedelic Pill, which is like jams, and he was jamming, and I thought it was so cool. And
Yeah,
I'll talk about it because that's definitely the first rock concert. And I remember it was fun, weed in the air. You got the old hippie looking people, boomer.
yeah, yeah.
I thought it
Yeah.
was great, young people too. But
He,
anyway,
he was amazing. So I just want to say thank you to all our fans out there. Thank you for writing comments, and if they're good or bad, I still appreciate it. But the one thing I just want to bring up that's on my mind about this show that we're trying to get out to the world is basically number one, the music and the true crime, the knowledge that you can get from what we're doing in the lyrics, in the music, and to turn you on to get into that band. And then in the true crime episodes, the knowledge of the psychopath that we're talking about and to teach you about them if you're a psychology type of person, to learn about their psychology and to get into them as a true crime. You might never have heard of Starkweather. I did, but I didn't think anything of this guy. So this might be a new one for you. And the third thing, if you have anything, go out there and use your self-expression. Express yourself. So express your passion, please. Right, Manny? Is that,
And I agree. I mean, I feel like life is more than your uh what's that Rush song and our nickname for somebody.
Middletown Dreams?
Yeah, life is more than the and by the way, and actually this is so weird because Bruce Springsteen said something similar to what you're saying, where he goes like, fuck the 9 to 5. I didn't want to be one of those,
Right. I don't
people.
think we didn't either, but we don't have a choice.
Yeah,
But I
yeah. Yeah,
but
right.
I think we're allowed to express ourselves through the
Yeah.
vehicle of this wonderful thing called the internet, through the vehicle of me playing my bass. And it's sad. I think it's pathetically sad when you are just a big fucking blob who doesn't do anything with your life, and you sit on a couch and you just are just like, you just have your job or your life. And I'm not putting down people, but I'm just saying, do something, please, for God's sake. Don't waste your life away with your talents. Whatever you are, just do something. Just my opinion. Something I've been thinking a lot about, observing life. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's get started.
Got so we let's go. Yeah, so yeah, on that note, yeah. Don't I mean, don't fall for the 9 to 5 trap. And even if you do, it's okay. But don't hate on people and their dreams and passions because I feel
Thank
like
you.
that's a
Yeah,
mistake. That's a
yeah.
major mistake. Because a lot of people laughed at, let's say, like Springsteen, for example, or something. You don't know where they're gonna be at. If anything, you should inspire and help others. I think that's one key thing.
And I
So
think people that do that are just jealous because they can't do it. They're not, for some reason, they're lazy and they can't fucking go out and be a baseball coach. They like baseball. Go out and do it.
right,
But
100%.
hey, but I'm not knocking you. If you're content being a blob sitting on your couch
All good.
watching television, that's all good too. But you're just wasting your fucking life away, in my opinion. Sorry. Do be creative, please, people. Whether
Yes,
you're
sir.
whether you're 10 or 70, do something. Do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, on that note, just had to
On
get
that note,
off my
let's talk
yeah.
about serial killers. We got Charles Starkweather.
Yeah, I've
Here
become
the Now
a
I got here the teenage killer on the run.
Yeah, I've become a semi-expert on this guy. I mean, really, like I've watched Badlands, which is a good movie, but it's not a good movie. It takes
Have you seen Badlands? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched Badlands and then the Charles Starkweather story. Uh,
Oh, okay.
so Badlands is a little bit Hollywood. It takes away from it, except
Right.
for the ending. The ending they got. I mean, it's close to it, but the Charles Starkweather story is much. It's detailed. It's every murder, and then what's the other one?
And I will say that the Badlands movie is not a famous. I think it's famous, but it's. You know how there's B movies and like A movies. It's
Yeah,
it's a B movie. It's like it's
yeah,
supposed to be kind of the Hollywood cheese or
yeah. Natural Born Killers is also a take on Starkweather and Fugate. Um, uh, and also I believe another movie, and I can't remember the name, but so they're pretty well known in this true crime world, but they're not talked about a lot.
Oh, before you move on though, just quickly, yeah, so films just for our audience out there, Badlands, a 1973 film, because I have in my notes here,
Yeah,
uh, directed by Terrence Malick, who himself is a famous director, starring Martin Sheen and Sissy, I think Spacek?
uh, Sissy Spacek. I think she also played Honeysuckle Rose, the Loretta Lynn story. I think that is. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay.
She was a young girl in that movie. She fit that part perfect. But they
Okay.
took a lot of liberties, I think, with it. It wasn't
Oh, it makes
chronological.
sense. It makes sense because remember we talked about like films do that where
Yeah,
they obviously and also just because I mean it was kind of risky if you tell the whole truth or like really show the like how closely resembled real life. But the story is, but I will say the story is fictional. It is loosely based on the real life murder spree, so it's
yeah,
not really an accurate thing about it. Now,
yeah.
what's interesting, what you just said there is, then we have in 1994 the movie Natural Born Killers, which was also fictional but thematically linked. And once again, it's about these people that, and actually, this movie is actually really famous.
It's an amazing movie. I loved it.
And
And
it's so sad. I have to see.
Tarantino movie, I believe.
No, Oliver Stone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oliver
Yes,
Stone.
Oliver Stone. And actually, the original screenplay it was Quentin Tarantino. He wrote it. But it was revised after. But it's all-star cast, Woody Harrelson, and loosely based, but fictional. But again, I think it shows the influence. But I will say that the Terrence Malick movie was the inspiration for Springsteen in a way, and he sort of did his research, kind of like what we're doing, and then it kind of inspired, in my opinion, Nebraska, obviously, right? That's confirmed. And also, I also try to think maybe Johnny 99 too. It's another one that could be loosely based. Okay. So yeah, so aside from that, let me just make sure. Yeah, those are the films. Let me see if I have anything else. Yeah, let's get into. I don't know where you want to start, but throw it to
Yeah.
you.
Mr. Charlie Starkweather. Charles Raymond Starkweather. He was on a murder spree from January 21st to January 29th, but he killed in December 58, 1958 into, I'm sorry, 57 into 58. So Charles Starkweather was born November 24th, 1938, and he started his uh, spree killing, like I said, in 1957 into no, I'm sorry, yeah, 1957 into 1958. Now, I didn't wasn't familiar with a spree killer. So a spree killer opposed to a serial killer. Do you know the difference, Manny? Have you
Yeah,
heard?
yeah. Spree killer just kills. Like just it's
Like,
like school shooters are spree killers.
yeah, like nonstop. Like he didn't take a break.
They just show up if they have a. In this case, I know he had a shotgun, but
Yeah,
they'll just. Um they're not plotting like let's say like a Ramirez or where he obviously plots a little bit, right, and plan.
yeah,
No, they just go, just start. It's like a school shooter. Maybe a
right.
school shooter could be plotting, but they just shoot anybody at
Yeah,
random.
from the 21st to 29th, 8 days he killed 9 people. So he's not like a Son of Sam. He's not like a Ramirez. Um, so he was a spree killer, and we just kind of describe what that is. So he killed 10 people in Nebraska and Wyoming from 1957 to 1958. He was 19 years old. He was accompanied by his girlfriend, Caril Ann Fugate, 13 years old. Now, it's very controversial about her. Very controversial. If we're going to talk a lot about that, if she was a hostage or was she a natural born serial killer like him? And this is something I want to definitely kind of like maybe figure out or kind of prove on this episode. She might have had Stockholm syndrome and just stayed with them because she had many opportunities to run away, but she didn't. Uh, so they were both convicted on charges in their parts of homicides. Starkweather was sentenced to death and executed 17 months after the events by the electric chair. And he was the last person to be executed in Nebraska until 1994.
Mhm.
You'll find this interesting. Criminologists and psychologists have analyzed Starkweather's case in an attempt to understand spree killers and their motivations
Mm.
and participating factors. It was the crime of the century. It was a scandal to reach national prominence, and the media was all over it. So let's just talk a little bit about like a spree killer. Like, why do you think? And I didn't tell you much about his background yet, but I will. But why do you think he was, the spree killer? What makes them want to just keep killing?
Right. So, and just so for our audience out there, I guess a spree killer is not that they're different from a psychopathic, I mean, they're both psychopathic, but
Yeah.
just a spree killer is someone who commits a criminal act of murder involving two or more victims. I think that's what it is. Like with no, but what's interesting that there's no significant cooling off period between the killings, right?
Right.
And it often occurs in multiple locations. So maybe it was wrong. Maybe school shooter isn't really a spree killer. It's more somebody that will go into, like, let's say a town, kill five people. Next
Yeah.
one, no cool off. Next town, kill five more people.
Yeah.
And and I got here the key distinction from serial killers is the lack of break. Serial killers have a break, obviously.
Yeah.
You need to kind of, I think they plot a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the murders occur in close proximity to each other in terms of time. Now, in terms of motivations, right? Um, One could be not in Starkweather's case, but sometimes like if you've seen the movie Bonnie and Clyde, like a botched
Yeah.
robbery
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
the person has no choice but maybe do a spree killing, and their banks are robbing or
Or it
what.
could be that's more self defense in a way too.
No, I don't think no, not self-defense. They're just killing. Because
Well,
let's say
Bonnie,
no,
well,
let's say
Bonnie
the
and
person
Clyde.
does no, but let's say the person doesn't want to give the money, they'll just shoot him.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I see. Yeah,
Not
yeah,
really
yeah.
self-defense.
Yeah, like Jesse James too. You
Yeah.
could say Jesse James was killing bankers and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only self-defense I could think of, but it's not. I think it's called more retaliation if somebody, one of the clerks or store or customers, has a gun, takes it out.
Yeah, yeah, and he wants to.
Right. And then the motivation can range from anger, revenge to a specific mission, or even a psychotic episode. But
And
what
Starkweather is full of all this. This guy's fucking nuts.
right, right. And again, it's really interesting because I think from a psychological perspective, I mean, I definitely would never want to experience one near our hometown because
No,
they are pretty frightening. Another way to think about them is rampage killing.
right, right.
Again, this would be sort of it's crazy because it's different from a psychopathic killer like Dahmer or
Yeah, yeah,
because they're usually picking a victim and
right.
they do it. You see this wonderfully in the movie The Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
The guy has to kind of plot a little bit,
yeah,
um, and then. But what's interesting is, the motivations, and that could be different from spree killer to spree killer.
right.
Um, and in a way, it's a little mysterious as to, the people that do it for no reason,
Yeah.
like Starkweather, because
Well, we're gonna analyze him. There's probably a reason. There's always a reason for these crazy people. You know what I mean? But Starkweather, I wonder, was he a natural born killer or was a combination? Because he had a kind side to him, according to a lot of people. But
right,
I'm gonna get into his background a little bit, and it's pretty twisted. You
yeah,
know?
yeah, no, 100%. And it was crazy too. The age he was doing this, 19, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's like at that age. I mean, they're all kind of. Son of Sam was 23. Ramirez might have been in his early 20s. Yeah, Starkweather's a little bit younger. Well, no, Dahmer was 17 when he killed his first victim. So that he admitted to later, much later on, when he was in prison.
Right, right. So yeah, I'm interested in what you dig up, but I will say from like my perspective, like just analyzing the situation, it's once again, I think there is evil in the world, and people forget that not many know the Charles Starkweather, apart from like true crime enthusiasts and maybe Springsteen fans.
Yeah, yeah,
They forget about it. And I will say, like, even like Bonnie and Clyde are definitely spree killers, even though they're a little romanticized.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
is what they did.
yeah, yeah.
They cause a lot of murders. And in a way, also, another thing, gangsters or mobsters are definitely spree killers too, because
Yes.
they'll just start, it's violence.
Yeah,
It's that awful violence, and it has no rhyme or reason sometimes. It's just awful. And sadly, a lot of innocent people die, like Springsteen says. That's the sad part.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but yeah,
A
so
lot of and it's in it with Starkweather. I mean, they're always innocent people, but I mean Starkweather, it's fucking sad, man. Innocence. But when I say innocence, like it's gonna get sick. This show is gonna be a little graphic. I'm not gonna get into what what he did. I'm just gonna
yeah,
say it.
yeah.
Um,
And just before you continue, just so who Charles Starkweather is, just for our fans that they're following, he's born in Lincoln, Nebraska, all right,
mhm.
like Springsteen says.
Yeah,
He dies in 1959. He's executed by the electric chair, which itself is also raises some ethical issues. Age, he's doing these murders, 19, and then he has an accomplice, I think Sarah or Carol and Fugate,
yeah,
14,
you,
14 years old, who at the time and his guilt.
yeah,
So,
right.
but yeah, so this in the timeline of the killing spree was between December 1957 and January 1958. So a whole year, which is nuts.
Well, no, actually, it wasn't a year. No, it was a month. It was like
Wait.
December.
Oh no, I read that wrong. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right. No, no,
it
you're
was
right.
like he
Oh, so that's
shot one guy
well,
in
that's even
December.
more awful.
Yeah, that's why he's
No, you're right. I'm sorry. I read that wrong.
the
Yeah.
number one spree killer. So he shot in December and then went fucking bananas in January. And in 8 days
No, no, you're right.
killed
I'm a,
9 people.
I'm a fool because I
No,
got.
it's okay.
But yeah. So where are you gonna get started? The
I'm
background.
background of Starkweather. Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
Let's go ahead.
Okay.
And I got a psychological profile, so see how you do.
Yeah. Born in Lincoln, Nebraska, to 7 children. He was the fourth one. To Helen Starkweather was his mother, and Guy Starkweather was his father. They were a working class family. Now, Guy Starkweather was a carpenter. Now, that's interesting, right? The son of a carpenter. He's killing.
Son of a carpenter, but twisted.
Yeah. But the problem was he was unemployed due to his rheumatoid arthritis in his hands. So his mom did a lot of work as a waitress. At Starkweather's trial, his father admitted, now I didn't find a lot of abuse on him, but his father admitted pushing his son into a window and showing a lot of aggression towards him. Later on, the wife would divorce him on the grounds of extreme cruelty. That's all I got. I didn't get specifics like Ramirez making him go in a cemetery. He just pushed him around. He was cruel to the family. He was not a good father.
Hmm.
He was definitely abusive. Starkweather was not bad at school, but the problem is this is where it gets why his anger grew. He was born with a disorder I never heard of, but I'll explain it. It's called genu varum. It's a birth defect that made his legs misshaped. So it was like being bow-legged. So he
Hmm.
walked around, what like he was bow-legged. Um, and he had a bad speech impediment. So, kids could be brutal in like middle school or high school to somebody like that, somebody with a speech impediment and who's bow-legged. Okay. Um, he was teased and bullied by his classmates. Um, the only thing he was good at was like gym, like weightlifting class, where he could take out his rage and like lift weights and do the punching bag. As he got older and he discovered a guy by the name of James Dean, he found an identity in James Dean, and he cut his hair like him. He wanted to be like him. He looked like him. Um, what's the famous James Dean movie? I forget. I should have put it in here.
He has a giant, rebel without a cause.
Yes, yes. Rebel Without the Cause is the movie he saw, and I
Yeah,
think,
that's
and, I,
fantastic. Yeah, and I could see that.
and it made him like he related into somebody. He related, into him. Uh,
Yeah, and,
so
and I have here as a just to support that. Yeah, he was bullied, and he actually did poorly in school.
yeah, yeah,
Later idolized James Dean and identified with the actor's rebellious outsider image as seen through the famous movies. And I think you mentioned Rebel Without a Cause, right?
yeah, yeah.
Which
Um,
I think inspired a lot, like a lot of it was like that time that rebelliousness, yeah.
oh
And
yeah, the 50s was all about that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
And his famous movies is and they're all so good. Giant, East of Eden, and Rebel Without a Cause. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's
He was every guy in the 50s wanted to be James Dean. You know what I mean? He was the dude. I mean, he's a guy who should do a show on. Very mysterious how he died.
very.
Get
And
into
actually
that.
another and very similar to also to Marlon Brando in the 1950s, like that
Yeah,
rebelliousness. But yeah, so we find out that he has a bit of dad problems, right? It seems like
yeah. He's
not
got physical problems.
just and then got bullied, which actually that makes sense.
Had a speech impediment, but not really abusive. I mean, abusive enough to where the mother wants to get a divorce. So
Okay.
that's a bad, so
No,
pretty.
and there's a famous picture of him. I think you've seen it where he's he's like smiling at the camera. He looks like your typical 1950s James Dean
Yeah,
look.
he was a good looking dude. He had he was cool looking. He had a cool look about him.
Very rebellious. He looks like a 1950s rocker.
He totally does.
Uh,
Um, so he hit a point when he got strong enough and bigger. The kids that bullied him, he fought back with rage. And anyone who disliked him or was mean to him, he messed him up. He would beat him up really bad. And if he seen somebody who looked cooler than him, he would be angry at that person.
hmm.
And I think American Psycho, the movie, took a little bit. Have you seen that movie from Starkweather? There's a lot of scenes where there's a lot of jealousy in that movie, and the
Oh
guy just feels
wait, Psycho? Not the
American Psycho.
that's the one with new one, the 90s?
Yeah, yeah, it came out in like the 90s. Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
that's about a serial killer. Yeah.
yeah, very similar. Um, so he took his rage out on those kids. A teacher was interviewed after the murders, and he was put in jail. Said he was not the greatest student, but he was behaved most of the time. Um, but he was also one of the most troubled kids in high school. She said he had a kind side to him, but she said he saw, like I said, if he saw a better looking kid or a better dressed kid, he would just start a fight with them and stuff. He ended up dropping out of high school, and his parents became afraid of him because of his violent outbursts towards his parents. So he ended up getting a job as a garbage collector and a newspaper man, boy, or whatever. So then, any comments on that?
No, I think it's pretty good. I mean, it sounds like pretty, you know,
It's not. He's born with birth defects. He's being picked on, but a lot of people are,
yeah.
and a lot of people turn out normal. He's not really abused, not sexually abused. This is why I question if he's really made a serial killer. I don't know. I don't think he has any of those real qualities of being made one.
Well, it's not that being made one, I think he's more like because we're trying to find some motivations, which by the way, it's still a mystery. Like
Yeah,
this case still baffles like criminologists and psychologists because it's like what we're doing is that we're doing the Freudian looking in the past, seeing
yeah,
the bully might be maybe because school shooters, that's a big problem. It's
yes, yeah.
bully
You're right. You're right.
Pearl Jam song Jeremy highlights that where
Exactly.
kids are
Yeah.
just pushed to the edge. And certainly I think because again we're trying to figure out why he did what he did.
I think the bullying, like a school shooter, that is where he was made a serial killer. Although there were no school shooters in the 50s, I don't think. But
That would be an interesting episode too. The
yeah, yeah.
shooting.
But that's what pushed him off the edge. So this is where it gets interesting. In 1956, he meets 13, 14-year-old Caril Ann Fugate. He quits high school and he's working, and he gets a paper route where she's in to be closer to her middle school. He's 19, she's really young. He would visit her every day. He taught her how to drive, and she crashed the father's car, Starweather's father's car.
Hmm.
This is the edge. They threw him out of the house. They said, "Get out of here." They were going through a divorce. This is where it starts for him. He develops a nihilistic view of the world.
Right, right,
He feels his current situation will not change. So he plots all messed up stuff. He
right.
wants to be a bank robber. He wants to rob people, not so much kill. That wasn't in his plan yet. And now this is see if you could analyze this. His personal philosophy was dead people are on the same level. What the hell does that mean?
We dead people are at the same, but to what?
I don't know. That was his philosophy. And explain a nihilistic approach. Now, he's the epitome of a nihilist, I think.
Yeah. Remember I told you like nihilism can lead to bad stuff.
Yeah.
And that's one example.
Right.
Uh, so wait, the quote is dead people are all on the same level.
Yes.
Dead people are all on the same.
I tried to research it. I don't know what the fuck that means. Dead people are on the same level as alive people.
I'm trying to think.
He was looking. His eyes were looking at the world in a different way.
Well, I,
You know?
I think it's like a reflection of his like nihilistic, like because we talked about nihilism as a philosophy,
Yeah.
which sometimes it has its roots in Nietzsche, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but I think what it is that it sounds like he believes that societal structures, especially of his time, and differences in social status or social
Hmm.
are meaningless in the face of death. So in other words,
Yeah.
someone's dead, they're dead. It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
they're rich, poor, young,
Right. Right.
you. And if he lives by that philosophy, that's psychopathic and serial killer because um, in a way there's some truth to it. Yes, and actually in religion, death is universal. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
whether it's rich or poor, it's gonna get you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Affected by it. But it sounds like he's marginalized. He's one of these marginalized people. He's dissatisfied a little bit with life and then becomes a nihilist, right? And then influenced by James Dean because have you seen Rebel Without a Cause? It's
No.
even
Yeah.
the title.
Yeah. Rebel without a cause. It
Yeah,
says it itself. There's no reason why he's a rebel. If you break it down.
exactly. It's degenerate. It's like the moral decay of American youth at the time.
Yeah.
People didn't see it, and I think Starkweather is the product of this. And I think maybe it could be possible that he was a serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thing is, like, he took this, we're gonna talk about it, because we're trying to understand his because a lot of these suburban middle class teenagers or like low middle class, I
Yeah.
think they're probably emotionally confused. You know,
Right.
I think they're just dissatisfied with life,
Hmm.
maybe bored. They want to make a name for themselves,
Yeah.
which is a key thing. And I think James Dean's movie kind of shows that.
Hmm. But he didn't kill anybody.
And as far as I know, no,
Yeah.
but it's that rebelliousness that, you know,
Yeah. There were no rebels in the 50s really, except for James Dean. I mean, he
Well,
kind of.
I think you found them in like James Dean, Marlon Brando, in the rock and roll world, like
Oh,
Elvis.
yo, oh, definitely. Oh, the rock.
Rock music
Oh, yeah.
definitely
Oh, yeah, yeah.
depicts those
Yeah.
rebels.
Jerry Lee Lewis is the epitome of a rebel.
Right,
That's
right.
a good point. And there's a lot of rock and roll in the movie that I saw. They're playing all. He was listening to a lot of that stuff. Elvis. That I forgot. Putting in more music show too. Putting this into the true crime part of it. So
Hmm.
that definitely. So this is where it gets interesting. He falls in love with Fugate, and I keep saying I always want to say her name wrong, but it's Fugate. I always
Thanks, Fugate. Carol, right? Or
yeah,
Sarah?
yeah.
Carol.
Caril Ann Fugate. I want to say Colgate, like the toothpaste, but Fugate. So falls in love with her. Now she's very controversial in this um murder spree.
Hmm.
I want to just bring this up. A lot of people think she's innocent, and I got to bring these points out that she was innocent and she was taken hostage by him because he basically was in love with her. They had a thing, and she and her parents said, "You can't see him; he's too old." And he grabbed her, and he said in the movie, "If I can't have you, nobody can." He was obsessed with her. Okay, so the parents were like, "Frig you, get out of here. We don't want you." So she basically could have gave a shit about him. I don't think. I don't think she liked him as much as he liked her. So
Hmm.
she's breaking it off with them kind of after them spending a lot of time together, but her parents are just like, you can't see him. But
Right.
at the same time, there's that one side that's like she's held hostage. She has Stockholm syndrome. She's scared of him, and I'm going to give you the reason why. Then there's the other side. She's just as a psychopath as he is. Now, if you watch the current affair video I sent you, I don't know if you did. A lot of people said it looks like she's fake crying,
Hmm.
that it's not real, that maybe she really did this stuff. And this is something nobody will ever know. And I don't want to give the surprise ending away, but so with that in mind, you
Yeah.
understand that concept so
Yeah.
far?
And I have here just to recap, because again, she's only 14 years old during the murder, so she's
Yeah,
like eighth grade, maybe.
yeah. I mean, you're so young. It's like your student. It's like your students that you teach. Like they're that age.
Which is crazy. And
Yeah.
this already graduated high school, so it's
Yeah.
clear,
Oh yeah.
obviously,
Easily.
you know.
Yeah.
And then, and I have here also, like you said, she claimed that she was kidnapped and held hostage, which could be a high possibility. And
And
but
then I brought in Stockholm syndrome because
could
she kind of liked him.
could be,
You
yeah, yeah.
know.
She accepted him. I mean, you said that he had these defects. Well, I'm not saying he had defects, but he had
Yeah.
these, so obviously there might have been some love, obviously love there.
Yeah.
But she was convicted as an accomplice, served 17 years in prison. I have here in my notes. And like you said, her role remains controversial because was she a victim or an accomplice? And how do you judge? Another thing I got here, Cheech, to kind of think about this is, um, how do we judge a child? Because
Yeah.
it's a con when we have child serial killers, it's like, you know,
I mean,
what do we
to me,
do?
if you're 13, say she was. Now, according to Starkweather, she only killed a few people. Now he changes his story up, just like uh, uh, Ronnie DeFeo changed the story up. This is very similar to DeFeo. You don't know, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. I think she
Wait, what do you mean?
changed.
What do you mean with the fail?
DeFeo said his sister Dawn helped. There was a boyfriend involved. There was a story. So,
Oh,
so
the only problem is that they're not alive, like Carol.
right, right.
Oh,
Well,
Carol is alive, and I have here too that a quote from her during the trial. She claims I was afraid of him the whole time. Yeah.
right.
So,
But when we get to it, the jury found her guilty. She did 18, 19 years in prison. So there was something there. And it was the lack of what's the word? Empathy. She didn't have any empathy. I seen video footage of her just walking around with this smirk
so
on her, like this
both are
nasty face.
sociopaths then.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know. So this is okay. Once I tell you this story, we'll see. So he's pissed. Starkweather's pissed. You don't want to piss this dude off. Um, so before let me um before he kills the parents, I don't want to leave this murder out. This is important. Hold on. Oh no, here it is. I'm sorry. So in 1957, before the murder spree, in January of 58, December 57.
Okay.
So his first murder, 1957. He goes to a gas station, convenience store, whatever, and he talks to the store clerk. His name is Stuart. I'm sorry. What is his name? Robert Culver. Starkweather is being a pain. He says, "I want that stuffed animal, and I want it on credit." And Robert says, "No, we don't do that." He goes, "We don't do credit here. Give me the money." And Starkweather keeps going back and going back. So finally, Starkweather goes with a shotgun, forces the dude to give him $100 and the stuffed animal. Then, instead of leaving him alone, he says, "Come with me." Puts him in the car. They drive off to a remote area where they struggle over the gun. The gun falls down. Starkweather gets the gun. He first injures Colvert, then he shoots him in the head, and he drives off. So that's his first murder over a freaking stuffed animal. Okay? And this is where I have fantasies that I would, for one day, love Starkweather to come back from the dead and get a job at the temple.
Dude, imagine cutting deli or Stark.
One day. Hi,
Hey,
Mr.
I want it thinly sliced. I
Uh,
said
wait, is your name Charles? Are you the new guy? You don't have a name badge. What? Okay.
there were a couple people at the temple that fit that profile.
Starkweather, come back from the dead for
No,
one
we
day.
we had a Dahmer, we had a Ramirez, we had
Oh, there's actually a kid who looks like Starkweather in the meat department. I don't know if you'll ever see him. I don't know. My imagination is fucked up. So
also, can we talk about also just one quick thing about that the serial killers and spree killers are mostly males? And this is unique because now we have a girl
yeah, yeah, yeah.
who's kind of unique, right? I think
Well, there was a sick nurse that was killing babies. A psychopath. I remember reading about her. But yeah, this is a child killer. Has there ever
well,
been a child killer?
wait, probably. I mean, that'd be a good idea to research some child killers.
Yeah. I mean, this
But
is
wait. So Starkweather, what store did he go into to buy the stuffed animal?
like a gas station, like a little like
And wait, and he just to recap, and he wanted
he wanted to buy it on credit. He didn't have, he didn't have a job. He got fired from the garbage uh,
right.
in the newspaper. Man, couldn't hold a job because he couldn't get along with his boss.
Yo, what does that sound like?
That's why he quit. All right.
It's kind of interesting because I feel like this dude, I'm not saying, I feel like he had no talent for nothing. Like
No.
he
Yeah,
was literally a lost
yeah,
youth.
killing.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He was like, and this is, and dude, in my notes, this is his first murder, right, Cheech? He
Very first murder, 1958, 7
wanted a
December.
stuffed animal for the girlfriend.
Yeah, and the guy wouldn't sell it on credit. And this is where that nihilistic psychopath mentality comes in. And he takes $100 and he needs money and shoots. Now the poor guy, I did research on him. Robert Colbert was 21. He just got married. His
Or
wife was pregnant. Okay, guy
awful, dude.
doing a job, working. Here comes this lunatic. You didn't have to kill him. Just rob the fucking guy. Take or beat the shit out of the guy and steal the fucking stuffed animal.
And I will say, in terms of, I think some common sense here for our audience out there. If you have someone like Starkweather arguing, I'd be like, take it. I don't care. Like, I'm not fighting you.
Oh
Like, if
yeah,
I'm not gonna stop someone from stealing. I don't care. Like, that's
yeah,
up to you. But this poor dude probably, wants to be employee of the year, and
yeah. And back then in the 50s, guys were more of that macho badass kind of
yeah,
thing. It
yeah.
would, they all probably came back. Well, he would have been too young to come back from World War II, but they were raised by parents that did.
And
So,
especially out in Nebraska, you had that old
oh
school,
yeah, and
you
there
know.
was a lot of fighting, bare knuckle fighting. In
Oh
those,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
it was
no, and it's crazy because this movie, also another great movie, No Country for Old Men,
love that movie. He's a serial killer in
where you
that.
have a similar scene
Yeah,
where the guy decides that the serial killer, Javier Bardem's character, Anton Chigurh,
great
he
actor.
decides he decides the fate of it looks like a gas attendant clerk on a coin toss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but again, once again, it's like sad, it makes me think like, man, like I would never argue with someone like, I just take it. Like I don't
Yeah,
care. Take the
take it
money. Like
wherever you want.
I would say if you are at gunpoint and God forbid, I wouldn't want this for you or nobody or myself.
Right. Yeah.
I want your wallet. Take it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Oh, like honest, dude, whatever you want, man. Like
Even like I tell my kid all the time. Eventually, when she drives, like road rage is a big deal. Like I'm just like
there's
somebody
so
beeps me,
many
gives me
cases.
the finger, I just drive off. No, and you're dying inside. You're angry, but what are you gonna do? They may have a gun. They may be a Starkweather. You don't know.
Do not, yeah, but
So
that's sad, man. Like,
it is. So where were we? I know we don't have a lot of time. So he killed this poor guy.
yep. Wait, Cheech, and by the way, in his first murder, were they on the so he was just trying to buy a gift for his girlfriend, it sounds
That's
like.
it. Just trying to get a gift on
They
credit.
weren't on the run yet, right? They weren't.
No, no, nothing has begun yet. This is the murder that they didn't even know there was a Starkweather yet. They just thought some guy got killed, random guy. So
And this might be the motivating factor where he's like, you know what? This feels good.
yeah, it's a
Got what
good
I
plan.
wanted. And,
And
and
he didn't do a killing spree. He just killed one and done on this push.
this is a robbery turned violent. Like this
Yeah,
is makes sense. And which is really sad. And what's weird is that and you're gonna follow this up with the
yeah,
girl's family,
yeah, yes, yeah.
which you said the movie romanticized it, but the real story it's actually
This
pretty
is this is fucking brutal. What I'm about to say.
detailed, man.
I know we
That's,
got about 8 minutes, but I'll just get into it.
describe it, and then I'll have my points, and
Yeah,
then we have 6 minutes. We'll end here, and then
yeah.
we'll continue the murders.
So he shot the attendant several times till he died. Then in January 21st, a month later, Stark Fugate says, "I can't see you." The mother and father would see them making out in the car in the front yard and stuff, and she's like yelling at him, "Charles, she used to call him Chuck. Chuck, you're a bad guy. Get away from my daughter, or you're gonna get hurt. This and that." So she's like, Chuck, I can't see you anymore. I don't want to be with you. And she runs in the house. So Charlie's like, all right, I'm gonna talk to your parents. So when she's at school, shows up at the house, knocks on the door, and he says, Miss. Well, it was her step parents. So their name were Felda
I
and
have here, no, I have here, yeah,
step
Velda
mother.
and Marion Bartlett, and then this was so Velda. Wait, Velda and Marion Bartlett.
It's a little confusing. I think
Oh, I
Velda.
heard this was Carol. I'm sorry, Carol's mother and stepfather.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
also have here plus baby sister Betty Jean, who was two
Yeah.
years old at the
Yeah.
time. So I guess Marion was the guy.
Marion was a stepfather, and
Okay.
Velda had Carol with another man who I don't know about at all.
And by the way, as an aside, talk about stepfather, real father. This dude that Carol had daddy issues as well.
She did have issues, so that's why she liked Starkweather. Older guy, James Dean, good looking,
Mm.
protector. But she was scared of her parents, so she didn't want to see him.
Of course.
But she was scared of him a little bit too, because he was violent with her. Uh,
And
he
talk about
told her,
syndrome effect. And actually, there's a great. Have you seen the show Twin Peaks?
Oh, love that show.
Remember one of the couple? Remember that was in that violent, the trucker that's violent, but she was in
Mhm.
the relationship.
Yeah.
Kind of similar.
That-
Yeah, there's something to be said about the poor victimization and Stockholm syndrome. And, I
Yeah.
feel like maybe, again, maybe she was in a very tight family. And then here comes Starkweather, who offers freedom, but also is having,
Insane, you
yeah,
know.
violent towards her. And, but she's probably thinking, wow, this man will rescue me or, you know,
Yeah.
freedom.
So tries to talk to Velda, excuse me, and says, I really want to be with your girl, your daughter. They're like, get the hell out of here. You're old. You're a maniac. Frig you. He's like, all right. Goes back to his car, gets his gun. I didn't freeze up, did I?
No, no, you're good.
And the mother comes at him, pulls the gun out, blows her away in the back. Father comes at him, shoots him right in the chest. This is the sickest thing I think any serial killer has done. Ramirez did it, but not this young. He clubbed to death their 2-year-old daughter, Betty Jean. Then he gets the bodies and he hides them in a chicken coop and in an outhouse. He waits for Caril to come home, and he tells her, "Your parents aren't here. I have them somewhere, and I'm taking them. They're going to be kidnapped, and you better come with me, or they're going to die." He threatens her. They're somewhere. They're safe, but one phone call, they're dead. So everything I do, you have to be with me. Then there's another theory. Caril was there the whole time watching television. Well, he killed the whole family.
And I have here, you said it's interesting. I have here shot and stabbed and baby strangled and stabbed.
Yeah, I don't know who. I guess the mother was shot in the movie. They shot the parents, and then they just showed.
Well, the movie, remember, the movie's fictionalized.
Yeah. So
Inspired, but I have here, obviously the parents were shot and stabbed, and the poor baby was strangled and stabbed.
and clubbed, I think too. I don't know. Does it say clubbed?
It's mysterious, right? Because
Yeah.
was Carol there? And if she wasn't, that would make sense why, first of all, she was scared of him, obviously,
Yeah.
and then also kidnapped.
Yeah. But if
Looking,
she's there and he's killing her family, she's not trying to stop him or take a bullet for her family. Is she watching TV, being like, "Are you done yet?" You know,
yeah, we don't know. Like that's
we'll never know. So she goes with him. Now you decide, viewers, on this one, but she goes with them, thinking, I don't know. You know, let's just say she's thinking that he has them in a certain place and they're gonna get killed if he doesn't go with her.
Hmm.
So he takes her. Let me just see what I got here. He said the ring is held hostage. He takes her with him, and the family would be safe if she goes. If she doesn't go, he would kill them.
Hmm.
So Fugate said she put a note in the window that said they were all sick with the flu, but she kind of put a clue underneath it that he didn't see. So the grandmother went to the house a few days later and got the clue, got
Hmm.
called the cops. Cops go into the house. The house is empty. Nobody's there. Okay. Cops are
Hmm.
like, they're not here. Who knows? So a couple days later, Charles's brother Rodney and somebody else, might have been Fugate's older brother, goes to the house. They find the bodies
Hmm.
in the chicken coop and in the outhouse.
Hmm.
They call the police, and now they're like, Charles Starkweather is a serial killer. He's on the fucking loose. So we
Hmm.
could stop here at the third murder because the third murder is pretty sad. It's sad.
Stop here, and again, just to wrap it all up,
But the
Stark. murders the girl's family, which is
Yeah.
that I didn't know.
Oh yeah, and brutal. Like I mean, a baby, a 2 year old. You're gonna kill a 2 year old? Like how sick are you?
And
You
I
know?
will say, I'm leaning on that she was waiting outside the car. Like I hate to say this, but in my opinion, I lean on that because Starkweather obviously being the person in control, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she knew at first, but then maybe during the murder, she probably either put two and two together or Starkweather said, "Yeah, I killed your family." So, you know,
So why didn't she run off to the police then?
well, she was kidnapped.
Well, he's
No,
shooting,
she could, but if she does that, she's dead.
but at least try. If it's my family, I'd rather take a bullet and at least try.
But the problem is, it's 14 years old. That's so traumatic. Like,
Yeah.
what do
Right.
you do? It's like someone with, and again, we don't know, because, or like you say, if it's the other theory, I mean, that's almost on the psychopathic level and sociopath, where she wanted her family dead. Starkweather delivered,
And
and
what are the odds you meet your um soulmate psychopath? You know what I mean? Like that's
saw
another
something,
thing.
saw something in him.
And she and a baby, her baby sister. Supposedly she loved her baby sister and her
Well, that's
mom.
the thing. That's why I don't believe in that other theory that you said. I think that she suffered from Stockholm syndrome and, well, no, obviously in the act, but
Okay.
and he did use that threat because at that
Yeah.
point I could definitely see like being a 14-year-old girl, what do you do?
Right, right. So you're leaning more on Fugate being innocent the whole time.
In a way, yeah. Now there could be some enjoyment in there for, for sure. And maybe it could be that Starkweather said during the trip, yeah, I kind of killed your family, so you have, nothing to go back to.
Right, and she's just stuck.
In a way, I mean, what
Yeah.
can you do? At the same time, though, but she, like you said, um, the the courts did find her guilty, though. No
The
remorse.
lack of remorse. Like she wasn't crying like, "Oh, my parents are dead." And then I don't want to jump ahead, but when they do kill a famous man in town. His last name was Ward. He was an industrialist, lived in a mansion. Starkweather knew about him from the garbage route. They kill. He kills him and his wife and his maid. And I don't want to give that away too much, but they do find a clipping in the newspaper about the murders of Fugate's mother, father, and daughter. And
Mhm.
Starkweather had it on him. So she could have found out then if she wasn't home. Maybe she wasn't even home. Maybe Fugate wasn't home at all. Maybe she was just coming home from school and he said, stay in the car. And they're dead already. And they're in the chicken coop and they're in the outhouse.
Mm.
So that's another theory. This is like, I keep going back to, the Amityville because I had a lot of theories on that, but this is way beyond that in theories. You don't know. Um, but why was she convicted? Why did she go to jail for 18 years? And then why was she released? Maybe, you know,
I will say though, but at that time, uh, not that it was conservative America, and I've seen this movie called. Have you seen the movie 12 Angry Men?
oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
It kind of highlights that similar issue where a lot of there was in the judges, there was probably no one with a little sympathy. They probably said these two are psychopathic, guilty, guilty, guilty. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, both should get the electric chair. Maybe the girl was spared because her being a female and
He
being
was too young. He was too young.
accomplished, young. But if it was up to a even more conservative judge, or they would have both got the electric chair
Oh,
because
yeah.
there was no sympathy. There was not really a way of understanding children at the time. Now
Yeah.
we have laws, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, it's awful, but let's say someone younger performs a murder.
Oh, nowadays kids do it all the time at that age. This is not
Well,
a new thing,
there's problems in the court cases. It's like there's a little sympathy because are they because psychologists have discovered that perhaps they're not because their brains are not formed, they're not really, um, are they culpable of doing what they're doing? But at that time, anyway, the point is at that time, they probably didn't care. If anything, they both wanted the electric chair, if anything, but
Yeah.
they realized, all right, well, we'll give this one 18 years. And by the way, she would have gotten a life sentence if she was,
Oh,
uh,
she did get a life in prison. And she got out in 1976. A judge overturned it. She I
maybe what I told you, because in the psychology world, there was more empathy towards children.
maybe in 20 years they realized this by doing studies, and they took her out. Uh, she got out of prison. She became a nanny, and she got married. She changed her name to Caril Ann Claire,
Mm.
moved to Michigan, and I told you what I did. I looked her up. She's still alive. I found the phone number.
Yeah, yeah.
I called her. I left a message, said, I have a podcast. I'm interested in your case. If you're interested, please call me. I haven't heard anything. She might be in an old folks home or whatever now, but
And,
she,
and we'll talk about it, right? Because I think
yeah,
we should stick till the end to
yeah,
find out,
yeah.
spoiler everything. But
But as of right now, at this point in the story, you're going with she is probably innocent or scared and has
mm,
Stockholm syndrome.
well, I hate to admit this, but Charles Starkweather, creepy for what he did. Think
Yeah,
about it like this: it would be like if me get like my 14-year-old sister and let's say did murdered the family. You're coming with me.
yeah, yeah,
At that age, you go in shock. You don't know what to do.
yeah,
And you're confused, but I love this man. And he probably took her, and probably did
yeah.
it right.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do? You mix, and maybe it could be the case that she had maybe father issues as well. Maybe,
Did because she had a stepfather and maybe she hated the guy.
right, right. So
Yeah.
a lot of factors in there. And again, I'm not saying I know, but just from what I'm seeing,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about it more when we get there. But
Yeah. Lack of empathy, maybe she was in shock.
I would have to research more into her to see because there are some signs of lack of empathy.
Yeah. And it could have just been shock. It could have been you go blank when these things happen.
But yeah, but we'll pause here. This
Yeah.
will be one, and
Yeah.
then part two with the murders, and then the
Very
final.
interesting case, right? Very,
So
and it's
far, murder is very.
gonna get worse. Fucking gonna get worse.
I
But
mean, and it's crazy because it just the fact that the only reason why we were doing this is because of Bruce Springsteen, who and he was close. He was closer to the time it happened.
it was, yeah, because it was
Oh,
50.
because it was sensationalized. It was a
Yeah.
big sensation,
I'm
and
sure Springsteen might have heard about it as a kid. Like I don't know what you well
no,
he
no, no. He wasn't a kid. He was
would have
already
been
old.
he
It
would have been
made news because this was the first like
it was
publicized.
huge. It was like the OJ case, or it was huge all over. I'm sure he heard about it though, like in the 60s. It was probably, something that was on TV and stuff like that
Mhm.
as he was older. Um, but there was nothing like it ever in the United States, and there was nothing like it in the state of Nebraska. And this is where Starkweather fucked up. He had a choice. He also killed in Wyoming.
Well, we should pause it. We'll
All
pause
right.
it here. Pause it
Yeah.
here. Not
Yeah.
to talk so much.
Yeah.
All right, Cheech, man.
All right, dude.
So this is part one of Charles Starkweather. I'm decided I'll probably tie them together. I don't think I'll separate it because
Yeah.
um, this is
Yeah.
good.
Do some research on her and when we come back, see what you think. If she was involved.
Thing. That's a debate. That's and we can debate at the end, but that's one of the debates. Yeah.
Yeah, so but cool, yeah, and good first part of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. We'll
All right.
we'll continue this awfulness on part two. So
definitely.
This was part one of Charles Starkweather, and this was really good. And I hope you're learning out there. And yeah, comment below. Is she innocent? What do you think? What do you think of Charles Starkweather? What motivated him? I think that's, what's your take on this? Have you listened also to the Bruce Springsteen song Nebraska? Is that how you find out about Charles Starkweather?
What we
Give it.
at the end, I'm sorry to cut you off, is take out the lyrics to start to the song Nebraska and see where he, what he got from it and how he, and what he thinks.
Yeah, and we talked about it. Watch our Nebraska episode because we're gonna talk about what motivated him, like to even, And I can't wait for to get in his autobiography because maybe when I get to the part about Nebraska, maybe I can shed more light on it.
Yeah.
What
And
was
I would
going
love to
on?
ask him, do you think Fugate was innocent?
Well, it's interesting, and we'll end it on here. Springsteen in his Poetics says, speaking from like Starkweather's point of view, I saw her standing on her front lawn, just a twirling her baton, sign of innocence, right? She's playing.
Yeah.
Me and her went for a ride, sir, and 10 innocent people died. So I think Springsteen poetically says she was innocent. She's a child. So
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
it out there. Because that baton, when you see girls playing with like a hula
Yeah,
hoop,
yeah, it's a kid. She's still brain of a child, and he knew how to manipulate that.
and what's creepy too is that Springsteen then further notes at the end, and we'll end it here. Like, Sheriff, when that man pulls that switch, sir, and snaps my poor head back, he's kind of like trying to act like a victim. You just make sure, you make sure my pretty baby is sitting right there on my lap. It's he
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't throw any views or as like, my pretty baby,
yeah,
mine on my lap. Like again, you put a child on your lap. Obviously, you can put your girlfriend and stuff, but
yeah,
mostly
yeah,
is, you put a little kid on your lap. It's, I think Springsteen, his head and his poetics says she.
yeah.
Yeah, man. All right.
All right, brother.
Join us for part two. This was good.
Part two. All right, take care.
You too, brother.
Bye bye.
All right. So,
All righty.
just to continue what we left off, because we kind of got, I know it's been some time period. I was, prior before coming back, I was in Guatemala, came back. I'm gonna pick up where we left off. So Cheech, give us a summary of the murder of Carol's family by Starkweather. What happened?
Okay, so on January 21st, 1958, Starkweather goes to Fugate's home looking for Caril Ann. She wasn't there. The parents are like, get out of here. You're too old for my daughter. We don't want you here. So he gets all pissed. He leaves. He goes back to his car. He gets his gun. That's how sick he was. He shoots the mother. Um, and Velda was the mother. And then Marion, the father, came out and he shot him. And then the sick bastard clubbed to death the 2-year-old daughter, Betty Jean. Now, some people say she was there, that Fugate was there. Some theorists. Other people say she wasn't there. This is where this is going to get very controversial. Um, so he gets the bodies and he puts them in a chicken coop, um, and in an outhouse. So then Caril Ann shows up, and he met her with a gun, and he said, "Your family's safe, but you're going to come with me. You're going to be my hostage. And if you don't come with me, your family's not going to be safe." So she did go with him, but she put a note on the door that said, "Everyone is sick with the flu." You know, so when people got there, they wouldn't go in the house or whatever. They would just figure like, "Oh, they're sick."
Mm,
So what happened was the grandmother started to get very suspicious, and she called the police because 3 days, she went there. She's knocking on the door, no one's answering. Um, So when the cops get there, they go in the house. It's empty. Everything's fine. Cops are like, "We don't know. We don't know where the family is. We don't know what's going on." So then Charles Starkweather's brother Rodney and a friend search the property. They find the dead bodies in the chicken coop and in the outhouse. So now the police are like, they know he killed the family. So we have a serial killer on our hands because the other guy, I forget his name, August, uh, the guy, the family friend that he went to and he shot, or did I wait? Maybe I'm jumping ahead of my.
No, no, you're jumping ahead, but
I
he's
am.
actually the next victim.
Oh, okay. He killed the gas station attendant, but
Yep.
they didn't like figure they didn't put two and two together yet. They just thought he just killed the family.
Mm.
Okay, here it is. All right, I'm sorry. So he has Caril Ann Fugate, and this is where the third murder is. They're on the run. She's supposedly a hostage, and she's scared. So they drive to a farmhouse owned by 72-year-old August Meyer, a friend of Starkweather's family. This is where this
Mm.
gets sick. He lived in Bennett, Nebraska. So he asked them for some food and maybe like a horse. And the guy was in the movie they made it where the guy was joking with them and like putting him down, like busting his balls and pissing him off, and
Mm.
Fugate's laughing. I don't know if this happened, but he ends up blowing uh you know August Meyer's head off, shoots him. According to Fugate, she's like, "Oh my God, why'd you kill him?" Whatever. He also killed the dog. This is how sick he was. So they took a car from the house and they fled, and they're driving. The police somehow found the body, and now they're like, okay, this must be the work of Starkweather because he was connected to the family. Because
Mm.
you got to remember back then, it was a small town, so you're gonna hear gunshots. Neighbors are gonna call the police and stuff.
Yeah.
This wasn't
Yeah.
a Ronnie DeFeo kind of thing, where
Mm.
the police the neighbors called the police. They found August his body.
Yeah.
So
Sounds right.
the fourth and fifth murder. This is really sad. As they're fleeing and driving off, um, car starts to get stuck in the mud. Now these poor two 17-year-old high school kids were on a date. This is at night. And this guy, and I always laugh at these names. I don't mean to laugh at the poor people die, but one is Robert Jensen. It sounds like Robert Johnson.
Mm.
And the girl's name was Carol King. Okay.
Wow.
So they're on a date, they're trying to, you know, hook up or whatever, and they're so nice. They stop. They offer him a ride.
Hmm.
He has a rifle in his hand, which is odd. And they didn't seem to bother them. He gets in the car, puts the rifle to the guy's head, Robert's head, and he says, "Drive to this abandoned storm cellar." So it was in Bennett, and they drove back to Bennett, Nebraska. And he takes Robert Jensen and he shoots him in the head. And then he attempts to rape Carol King and got angry with her, and he shot and he killed her. So like I'm
Now wait, while he's doing this, where is Carol?
here's that's the question. Now this is where this gets interesting. She's in the car, or according to Stockweather, she shot Carol King. Okay, so they nobody knows. Now, if she was in the car, she should have just ran off
Right.
because he took them to the storm cellar. Um, so maybe she was involved with the shooting. Maybe she watched and enjoyed watching him kill these people.
Mm.
I don't know. This is where this gets really interesting. Like, like, was she as sick as him? Did she have Stockholm syndrome? Was she just scared and didn't want to leave him?
Mm.
Did she love him so much she didn't care if he murdered? You know what I mean? Like, there's so
Mm.
many questions. Like, how do you feel about like some of these hypotheses I'm throwing out there?
Well, the fact that Starkweather attempted to rape Carol King, I'll be honest with you, I mean, that's already horrible enough, but if she saw that, I feel like she would have questioned, this guy doesn't love me. Like, so,
Well,
so I think she was in the car.
the rumor is because he tried to rape her, she shot her. There's some theories.
No, no, I know that, but I'm
Yeah,
talking about Carol, the girlfriend.
yeah, no, Carol King, that Fugate shot her out of anger
It could be. I feel like that would be too convoluted, though. I think she waited in the car.
the whole time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think I'm seeing the pattern here.
Hmm.
Now you're right. Why didn't she run away, right? Or, is it a case of Stockholm syndrome, paralyzed by fear? Because this is kind of like a scary situation.
Yeah, yeah, and
Because,
thinks that he has her parents in hostage. She doesn't know
right.
her parents are dead, so maybe if she runs off, oh, it's gonna kill my parents in the back of her mind.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you said there because Starkweather later admitted shooting Jensen, but claimed that Fugate shot King.
Yeah,
So who knows, right? It's pretty interesting.
these are
Uh,
some of the Starkweather ologists who come up with these theories that
right,
you know
right.
I, I just find it hard like to believe you find someone as twisted as you that could kill like that. It's only like, I mean, how many people in the world? Starkweather's like one out of, like, I don't know. I don't know the percentage of a serial killer, but to find someone just like you,
Hmm.
pretty odd. So it's gonna get worse. Um, so of course he said Fugate, shot King, but then she said she was in the car. So they stole the car of the two kids, Carol King and Robert Jensen. Now, he used to be a garbage man on a route of a wealthy section in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Right.
And there was all these mansions. So he said, let me break into one of these mansions. Maybe we could get food, we could get shelter. So he breaks into this mansion of an industrialist named Chester Ward.
Hmm.
Okay. Chester Ward and his wife Clara were probably the most, like, the richest in the community.
Hmm.
They owned the factory that say everybody worked at. You know, Probably Starkweather's family members worked for this guy. He was the
Hmm.
guy. So he knew the house. He knew how to get in through the garage. He gets in. He stabs the maid Lillian Finelli
I
to
have
death.
here
Fin, fin,
Lillian Benkel?
Finkel. I'm sorry.
Bensel or Fenkel to
Yeah,
death, which is sad. That's horrible.
kills her. Then he waited for the couple to return home. Now the movie, it gets and they have some liberties with it, but who knows the truth? In the movie, he takes the wife Clara upstairs to attempt to rape her. She pulls out a gun in the movie, and then he shoots her.
Hmm.
Okay, but who knows? So he ends up killing Clara, and he killed the family dog by breaking its neck so it would stop barking.
Hmm. And, oh, so that's before. So he killed the family dog first
Yeah,
because the dog would have alerted the
right.
wards, right? And then Clara arrived first alone
Yeah,
and was stabbed to death. Then
yeah,
Starkweather, I don't know if you have this, he claims that he threw a knife at her, but insisted that Fugate had stabbed her numerous times, killing her. So again, we have this weird ambiguous situation with
right.
how involved was Carol?
That that's the thing. Well, we don't know. Now, in the movie, they shot her, so obviously they he stabbed her to death. Clara Ward. Um, okay, yeah, I have that. He stabbed her to death. And then Mr. Ward came home. Starkweather shot him in the head, and then they were in the Ward's house for a while. And this gets interesting. And this is where, like, the true serial killer type of thing comes up. They see, and this gets interesting for Fugate. They see a newspaper that says Starkweather killed Fugate's mother and father.
Hmm.
Now, he takes the newspaper with him. Fugate, I believe, seen it. She sees that her parents are killed. She must know about it, or he hid it. I don't know. I don't
Hmm.
I don't know the details on that. I mean, if you see anything, in there. I couldn't find it out because I think if she seen that, she would have ran away. But he did have
Right,
like a newspaper on him, of like they love the attention, of these kind of things.
right.
So then, uh,
And then they
when,
fled Ward's black 1956 Packard with
yeah,
stolen jewelry from the house and I guess try
exactly,
to flee Nebraska.
exactly. You're reading what I wrote exactly. Yep.
And it's kind of funny because it reminds me, like, once again, of Bruce Springsteen's choice of album cover with that stark panoramic view of what seems to be one of the Nebraska roads. And you can imagine,
Yeah.
because this is a 1956 Packard, right?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
imagine that's you're seeing through the point of view of these two.
I think that's what it's supposed to be. Starkweather in that car, either being chased by the police or him and Fugate just driving. Um, so Nebraska was now in a panic. Um, so they find out that the wards are killed, and that's a big deal. That's like killing the most richest people in the community. They get Nebraska gets all the police force after them. They include the National Guard, and they start gangs and posses. Remember, it's like the old
Right.
West back then.
Right. And actually, I don't know if you have this. I have here the flames of public fear was because of juvenile delinquency, which was kind of a problem.
Yeah,
Like I think it's shown in like Rebel Without a Cause, for example, how I'm not saying like, they were delinquent or not, but there was already panic in these conservative Christian circles where any type of rebellion or something or any was seen as like juvenile
oh
delinquency.
yeah, and
So this didn't help matters, especially I kind of think the way he dressed like James Dean,
oh, he
right?
wanted to be James Dean. That was his hero. Um, so Murder Five. He saw a man, Merle Colson, sleeping in his car on the side of the highway. Um, he shot him dead. And now this is in Wyoming. Um, Starkweather said Fugate killed him on this, and that she was trigger happy. Again, he says, she says. She said she never killed anyone. They took moral collision. Merle, I think I'm saying it right. Collison. Took his car. It had a parking brake, I guess, emergency brake, and he did
Hmm.
not know how to use it. So what happened was the car kept stalling and it wouldn't restart. So he was stuck on the side of the road,
Hmm.
and a
Yeah, he
guy,
stalled. They had like a parking brake,
yeah,
which is something new to start with, which for us, it's kind of like you just
yeah,
release it, right? But I guess, I don't know, maybe,
the new
I,
feature,
I don't know what car history back then. And
yeah.
then the car
Well,
stalled because the brake had not been released, obviously, because that's what happens.
yeah,
And he tried to restart the engine and then go ahead. And then we have a passing motorist.
right. The passing motorist, I guess, tries to help him, and then of course he brings out the gun, but this time has some problems with them. They start fighting, and then while this is happening, the cops show up. They figured out where he was. Now he's in Wyoming. So I don't think the passing motorist, he was spared. He didn't die. He might have got shot. I'm not sure. So the cops come on the spot, and Fugate starts to yell, "Help! Help! Starkweather's gonna kill me. He's in the car." Um, and the cops start to chase him for miles. The cops are shooting at him. They break they break the windshield. In the movie Badlands, they do a great job with this scene. I must say, they really show it. Glasses from the back windshield is everywhere. He gets hit with glass so bad he starts bleeding. He thinks he's shot. He stops and he surrenders and he's taken into custody. Okay. So at this point, let's think about Fugate. Now she could have said to the cops, "Oh my God, I'm taken hostage. All the stuff. My parents dead." There's
Mm,
no written thing about her that she's crying about her parents. She's just sort of. Could she have been in shock? Could she have gone into some kind of like just kind of stuck in a shock? What do you think about that? Like as far as this is
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because there's a bit of a mystery here of, and hopefully we're pronouncing your name right, but Carol, hopefully it's not Cyril, right? Um,
no, it's Caril. It's Caril.
it's Carol.
That came
So,
in the current affair.
all right. So there's a mystery here because, yeah, I mean, was she in shock? Was she happy to participate? And I think to this day it is a bit of a mystery and interesting how she yells, it's Starkweather, he's going to kill me. Like, first
Yeah,
thing she doesn't do is say, "Hey, he killed my family," like.
yeah, yeah. She's not hysterical. You know what I mean? She's not running out and crying. My mother, my father, my young
But
sister.
what is interesting is that how Fugate ran to him, though.
Yeah,
So it kind of like gives a theory that she was stuck.
yeah.
And you got to think about, like, I mean, it kind of sounds to me like a case of Stockholm syndrome and shock, and maybe, well, what else am I gonna do? I mean, he killed
And
my family. He's gonna
he's
kill me. So
13 years old. She's a kid, really.
right,
Your
right.
brain isn't like an adult. She probably doesn't have skills. How am I going to get out of this? She's just stuck. So she might have been innocent. So after they got him, the trial starts. Um, now, Starkweather was tried in Nebraska. Now, he had the choice to be tried in either Wyoming or Nebraska. Wyoming, they did away with the death penalty that January, but he thought they had the death penalty. He thought Nebraska didn't have it. So he chose Nebraska, and he was wrong. They had the death penalty. Um, so at first he said, this is interesting. Fugate had nothing to do with this. I did all the murders. I took her hostage. I kidnapped her. Then he changed his story several times.
Mm,
He changed his story because Fugate started to really like rat him out and stuff and say he's a monster. He did this. He did all the killing. He's horrible. Which he was. She was just telling the truth. And in court, he said that she was a willing participant and she was trigger happy. Fugate also said she was taken hostage by him and he was going to kill her family, and she was always under that, claiming that she was unaware of the family's death and was worried that he was going to somehow kill her family. So
mm.
we don't know. We don't know. So the judge did not believe her story because she could have ran at any time, and he was going to give her the death penalty and the electric chair. And Fugate wanted her to get the electric chair because Fugate was so pissed that she like started to make him a monster. She thought that she would be more sympathetic to him, but in his sick mind, but she wasn't. So Fugate was convicted as an accomplice, and she was too young to get the electric chair. She got a
Mm.
life sentence, but she got out in 18 years on parole. Uh, Starkweather he got the electric chair and he died in 1959. Uh, so any comments on you just watched 12 Angry Men, so like this is like fresh in your mind. So any more comments on Fugate's situation?
Yeah, I just think it's funny how it just gives you an insight into Starkweather's mind where he believed that either state would have executed him, right? So Wyoming and Nebraska, but he wasn't aware that Wyoming's governor at the time opposed the death penalty.
Yeah,
So imagine if he was transferred to Wyoming. Like
still be
he
alive.
he he knew he was gonna die.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah,
But ironically, he was 50-50 chance of being saved.
yeah. I mean, there was a chance if he was 19 and 59, he might he might still be alive. He'd be in his 80s probably or something like that, right?
Yeah, and he probably would have been like interviewed by those FBI agents. But
Yeah.
also, it's interesting too how he keeps changing the story of Fugate's involvement.
Mm,
Like it kind of seems he took like the heroic. He's not a hero, but
yeah.
a gentleman. Like it was all me, me, me.
Yeah.
But then, and again, I think it's evidence that I think Fugate might have been a Stockholm syndrome victim, accomplice. I mean, where you know, and also you think about it. Is this a 13-year-old girl, and then she's facing the electric chair? How frightening!
Oh
I
my.
mean,
No.
just imagine like you see when we're at the temple, we see a 13-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
And they're saying, yeah, your sentence is death by the electric chair.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna say anything to get out of that,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you
She's
know? So, and that's the problem with this because and it leaves so much mystery because we don't know. And the judge in his Harry, and his name was Judge Harry A. Spencer. And the judge in all his, expertise of law and judgment says he did not believe Fugate was held hostage by Starkweather, as he determined she had numerous, like you said, had numerous opportunities to escape.
yeah.
Um, and that if Starkweather was supposed to die,
Hmm.
Fugate also should.
Yeah.
And the only thing that saved her was her age, because once again, I saw 12 Angry Young Men. And it's that controversy, right? Like, you know, and it makes you think, was there anybody in the judge that kind of had a sympathetic approach to Fugate saying, Starkweather definitely the electric chair.
Yeah.
There's no evidence against that, right?
Yeah.
But Fugate leaves the question a little like on, we don't know.
You're not sure, you know.
And the only thing that saved her was her age, but I think it's fair to say the judge and the jury probably thought death.
But her attitude was very cold. I mean, I seen footage. You go on YouTube, you can see footage of her uh, walking out of the courtroom. She looks evil. She has no compassion. She's not even fake crying. Say like someone like Lizzie Borden pulled the whole. They staged the whole thing at her trial where she fainted and she cried and said, "I didn't do this." You know, she put up an act. Fugate just kind of walked out, blank face, almost like an evil face. So there was no remorse. She was
Oh,
crying. So the jury or whatever was kind of like, wait a second, this girl has no remorse. Her family's dead. What's going on here? So that's why I think if they maybe staged something or made her cry or look sad, or lawyers said, look sad, do something, or you're going to go to jail for a long time. And then uh, she got out 18 years later in 1976. And she remarried. Like I said, I tried to reach out to somebody with that name in Michigan. Uh, Caril Ann Claire. She married a guy by that name, and she lived a relatively normal life until 2014. He died in a car accident.
mm,
New husband, or maybe she killed him. Who knows? You know what I mean?
mm.
And but then she's been in secret, living her life in Michigan. And I looked up that name. I found the name. I left a message on the phone, and said, "You want to be on the Cheech and Manny True Crime Show?" I never got a return call back, but it's worth a try. But she was on a Current Affair, I believe, with Maury Povich, I think, in the '90s, and they reopened this case and talked about it. She is totally faking it. She's like middle aged by then, and she's just like not. She's crying, but you could tell she's faking it. I was reading all the comments underneath it,
Mm,
and it's a total fake. It's a total scam, you know.
mm.
So I don't know. We'll talk at the end how we really, I have
Yeah,
questions. So victims.
yeah.
Any questions on
Well,
anything?
a
Yeah.
comment. I just think this is an interesting thing where half an hour before the execution, the doctor who's supposed to pronounce Starkweather dead suffered a heart attack, which
Okay.
is weird, right? And then Starkweather gave no last words apparently. But in a letter from prison to his parents, he said, Dad, I'm not real sorry for what I did because for the first time, me and Carol have more fun.
Wow.
which and he was indifferent about his impending death. So and he actually accepted it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the sign of a true serial killer mind where, it's like
Yeah.
and
I think he wanted to die. I think his attitude towards life was nihilistic.
mhm,
He felt like he had nothing going for him. He had issues with speech impediment. He had that weird bone disorder with his legs. So I think he didn't care about life. I mean, obviously, you don't care about life when you're just killing people, like for no
mm,
reason. So the victims, you know, um, Robert Colvert was a gas attendant, 21. He just got married. His wife was pregnant. Marion Bartlett, 58. That was Fugate's mother.
mm,
Velda Bartlett. I'm sorry, that was Fugate's. I don't know if I got the ages wrong. I'm sorry. Marion Bartlett was Fugate's stepfather. Velda Bartlett was Fugate's mother. She was 36. Betty Jean Bartlett was 2 years old when she was clubbed to death. I mean, still
mm.
a baby. Uh,
Dude, talk about nihilistic, right?
Augustus Meyer, 70, was Starkweather's family friend. Like, why did he kill that guy? Like, why did he kill the guy? Maybe the guy was busting his balls. Who knows? In the movie, they made that. Carol King, 17, was just a student in high school. Robert,
Mm,
a student in high school, 17. Lillian Fency, the maid, 51. Clara Ward, 50. She was Ward's wife. Chester Ward, 50, wealthy industrialist. Um, so
and Merrill
oh,
Collison,
he was the
34.
gas attendant, right?
And yeah, no, the traveling salesman.
Oh, I'm
And then the
sorry.
gas station attendant was Robert Culvert.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then don't forget the two family dogs, which is just brutal.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's a definitely a spree and such a definitely short span, which is
Yeah.
horrible.
I
And
think it was 3 days in January of '58 where he killed all these people. He killed 9 people in 3 days. Like, and the difference between the son of Sam and Ramirez is these guys, they plotted this stuff. They gave breaks. They took breaks. They would wait. They watched the media.
mm,
They would like I was just watching the Green River killer, and that the
mm,
way he killed was he would watch the media. He'd watch the press, and it was very interesting. Bundy helped out on that case. Just to get off topic for a second, and the Green River killer, Bundy said, when you find the next victim, don't release it to the press because he's going to go. If he doesn't know that you don't know about it, he's going to go back to the murder site. And sure enough, he did. He went
mm,
back to the murder site, just like Ted Bundy told him. The cops got him, took him into custody, but had no proof that he did it. There was no DNA, there was no fingerprints or anything. And he took a lie detector test and he passed it. So they let him go. But he got caught 12 years later from DNA and all that stuff. This is the early 80s, Just
mm.
another interesting
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Okay, so I have some questions for you about Stargate and Stargate.
Go.
Star-
Stargate. No, before you answer those questions, just quick thing I want to say about Springsteen.
Mm,
Just to throw the Springsteen element and just quick detour, but it's kind of funny how we said that the Nebraska song, which is also the title track of and the title of the album, his 1982 album of the same name, he was inspired by seeing Terrence Malick's film Badlands, right? That was the first inspiration. So it wasn't
yeah,
even like the news or, I mean, it could have chance that he heard about it,
yeah,
because it was a national thing there. But and then this led him to research Starkweather and the murders.
yeah.
And he said here a desire for black bedtime stories. Because again, I feel like true crime are dark black bedtime stories
They're actually horror movies in a way.
in a way, but a lot of people. I notice will, watch will listen to true crime podcasts, or watch true crime movies or shows before bedtime. Because
Yeah.
again, it sounds like these haunting myths
Oh yeah, yeah,
of the human psyche. But so that inspires the stark narrative driven song. And I think an interesting thing that Springsteen, he was exploring the themes of the loss of community. I don't know how you feel about that because I feel like Starkweather was one of these people in the fringes
yeah,
and also clearly a spiritual breakdown. Like this dude, nihilism, life
yeah.
is meaningless. And
And
he,
he was just a kid, like, you know, when you're 19, you're finding yourself, you're going to college, you're trying to figure out who you are, what you want out of life. Like, why did he choose this path of destruction and evil?
yeah, actually speak of that. You know how we talk about religion and spirituality? There's
Yeah.
a dark spirituality, which nihilism is, it's philosophy.
Hmm.
Well, not it's philosophy, but if you analyze spirituality, there obviously there's light and dark. But in
Yeah.
the dark spiritual world, right, that he inhabits, he was motivated by his philosophy that, dead people are equal, right? That
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the way I view things. So if I kill somebody, it wouldn't really matter who I'm killing because death will make all of us equal.
Yeah.
Um, and again, going back to the song, I think it's interesting how Springsteen and the album Nebraska is so dark, right?
Yeah.
It's exploring the dark um, uh, underside of American society, which includes people like Starkweather. Because what do we do about these people, right? I think Springsteen was ahead of the game, at least in music, but like the Dahmers, the Berkowitzes, who and it's interesting how they're white kind of killers,
Yeah. Well,
right?
Ramirez was Mexican, you know what I mean? Like, uh, and yeah, most of them are like white, middle class, not rich. Ramirez is the exception in a way.
Ramirez was the exception.
He was,
Ramirez, I just think, was a Satanist. He was
yeah, that was
satanic.
he is the devil. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that was that's a whole
Yeah.
nother.
No, and I'm not saying that black or Spanish don't commit crimes. What was interesting is that there's a difference between someone that, it's horrible, but we were looking at the Connecticut murders, right? We're kind of like, nah, it shouldn't be, not fun, but figuring out, yeah, is there another serial killer on the loose? But we discover how dark the world is. And in this case, most of the serial killers, with the exception of Ramirez, of course, are white, kind of middle class. I mean,
True, like just to bring up and to promote this show, we were talking about Mine Hunters, that show that you're really into. Watch Mine Hunters, true crime fans. Um,
fantastic show. 3 episodes in, amazing. I'm gonna probably binge watch it today.
Another guy you were talking, Ed. I'm gonna say his name, Ed Kempler.
Ed Kempler,
Yeah,
or not Ed Kemp, right? Ed Kemp or Kempler?
I think it's Kempler. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, actually, before you go, I was actually like my stomach was churning because first of all, the show is graphic, so kids do not watch it. I don't recommend it because they show photographs of a lot of this awful stuff. But
He killed his grandmother. I mean,
oh, and dude, he did horrible stuff to his mother, and I
yeah,
was like, wait,
it,
so, and it's crazy because the FBI have to get chummy with him, right?
yeah, yeah.
Which I noticed, well, not the FBI, but the two agents.
The profilers well, the whole point of the show for our fans is these people invented um, profiling and getting into the mind of a serial killer, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have that like pattern which you look for psychology, and then what the police are looking for, evidence and all that stuff. But Kempler was just I don't know,
Hmm.
he was one of the sickest, but once again, a white, I would say probably middle class guy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because that's what true crime, I'm sorry, that's what Mindhunters was theorizing. And I really never thought about it. Like, and one of the things I noticed that a lot of these serial killers are articulate. Like they're
Yeah.
actually pretty smart.
Oh yeah.
And you talk to them and again, just I want to refer here to Starkweather's letter that he wrote to his father while awaiting execution in Wyoming, stating, "But Dad, I'm not real sorry for what I did because for the first time, me and Carol had more fun." You
Yeah,
know, you see those lines, it's chilling, but he's being articulate. He
yeah,
said, "My life sucks, and this is the first time I had fun." Now, that's his definition of fun, but it gives you an insight. And Springsteen kind of in the song says, I can't say that I'm sorry for the things that we done. At least for a while, sir, me and her we had us some fun. And I love Springsteen's delivery of the song because it's like steady volume and a flat tone. Because you know how they speak kind of like monotone,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like because they lack emotion, which once again, it's part of the serial killer psychology. But um, and it's another crazy thing that's just to make a connection with the song, like Springsteen. I think actually, Jenna, we all want resolution, right?
Yeah,
We want at the end of the day, like, it's horrible what they did. Why did you do it?
yeah, yeah,
Like there has to be a purpose. Give me a purpose because otherwise this is horrible. Going
yeah.
back to show Mindhunters, they talk about a serial killer. I forgot who it was in the second episode or third. This and the policeman says that this lady was like a church-going lady, one of the victims of the serial killers he was
What
looking at.
was it? The Golden Gate Killer or something like that?
Something like that could be. I would have to. I'm gonna rewatch the series again because it was
So,
so
so,
good.
so good.
But he's trying to understand lady and the son who got. I don't remember. Without going too much detail,
Yeah,
but he's trying to understand. Lady goes to church all her life. Like why?
yeah,
Why? And then Springsteen. I mean, Starkweather never really gave a motive for his actions. There's a lot of mystery.
yeah,
And just to quickly summarize his kind of background, like you said, he had this bow-legged birth defect, which he might have been bullied, right?
yeah.
Childhood
It was
stutter,
definitely bullied. Definitely bullied.
another case
Yeah,
of bullying, or an unemployed father, right? We talk about Springsteen
mm,
and you know
yeah,
the working class and unemployment problems.
yeah,
An inner rage. Always had this, I guess it kind of sounds like he always had this inner rage that burst into nihilism,
yeah.
that increased with age, right?
Hmm.
And most likely led to a bitter disposition, just based on what he thought like everyone's equal when they're dead.
Yeah, yeah.
And but taking all of that, still though, like it just makes his actions even more chilling. It's like, damn, so
And,
that's because think about it, we all feel like that sometimes.
oh, of course, we
I
work
mean,
at
without going too much detail,
work at
with
the
a
temple.
certain place that we always talk about, you feel like this.
Like I said earlier, imagine Starkweather. Hi, my name's Charles Starkweather. I'm starting my first day at the temple. Where's your name tag? What? What did you say to me? You know what I mean? Like,
It's like
uh,
imagine Starkweather working his butt off, and then a certain somebody, hey, temps.
I think I don't think Starkweather would last too long at the temple. I would give him
No.
before his first 10-minute break. The cops would drag him off in 2025, and there can never, thank God, there can never be another Starkweather in 2025. I mean, a spree killer.
Well, actually, it's so sad, and one of the things that's really scary, there are Starkweathers from time to time, the school shooters,
Oh yeah, they are spree killers.
which the famous, and you know this, the
Oh,
Columbine murders, which, um,
that that is one thing, dude. I pray every day.
yeah, it's
You know,
horrible.
my kid's in college, and when my kid was in high school, and you know what's interesting about that? It doesn't. It only happens in America, from my research.
Yeah, and actually, let me give you
Uh,
one more psychological insight. Dude, women don't do this.
I mean, there's a few women serial killers that.
Yeah, but I would say I mean, maybe
Oh
we can
no,
analyze them, but there are a
it's low.
few.
It's low, and usually there's a reason. Like they can't have children. There was one who was a nurse that was killing
Right, right,
babies, and
right.
famous one, and that's because she couldn't have kids. So that's a revenge type of killer. But no, women are more nurturing. And I mean,
Mm.
nowadays, I take that back because if you look at any kind of reel that's out there, women are beating shit out of people. You know what I mean? It's like, so I don't know how there might be serial killers in 2025 because, but back then, there weren't a lot of,
Mm.
were more
Uh,
different.
no, I'm not saying they don't exist, but compare with the rates, right? With like males and white males for some, with the few exceptions, but um, it's mostly males. Like
Oh yeah,
especially the school shooter problem, it's mostly males.
yeah.
And I think, and just going back to the Nebraska song, and I'll end my piece here, the song offers no answers, right? Like, I keep saying I love the way Springsteen sings it, where he sings in this. The song to me has an, I don't know if you feel it. Springsteen has a live version where
Mhm.
the emotional music undertone comes out.
Yeah,
And I almost get teary-eyed, but then you hear the lyrics. No, I can't say that I am sorry. Like
yeah,
something chilling about this song
yeah.
where, it's like, damn, do I feel bad for Starkweather or like, and then song offers no answers. It's just a peek into the mind of a troubled soul.
He's troubled, and I'm gonna get into some of these questions.
Yeah.
We get into it. Want me to just get into it because it kind of it'll lead us right into this conversation. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sorry, that's just a little detour for Springsteen
No,
because
no,
just
no.
just to,
I mean,
just to understand the song. A lot of people, if I know a lot of Springsteen fans. I'm a Springsteen, ologist, but I already knew why he wrote about Starkweather.
oh
But
yeah,
for first-time listeners, why is Springsteen talking about this like, serial killer?
yeah,
And it gets, we're trying to analyze this on many levels, and you can understand like why the senseless violence, like why,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, there was something maybe not that Bruce Springsteen ever thought about being a serial killer. He saw something in Starkweather,
Yeah.
maybe the father figure thing, because the father was really not good to him, which I'm going to get into on the question.
Right, right. And actually, he has another song, and I can't wait to. We're gonna be doing recording "Born to Run" and "Darkness." On "Darkness on the Edge of Town," he has a song called "Adam Raised a Cain," which is just rage. Like, and it's kind of fascinating, right? How you said that because um, Starkweather's dad, who knows, unemployed, abusive. Was he an
Well,
alcoholic?
the beauty. I don't know. I could not find much about Starkweather's father.
But think about it. And again, I'm not an expert here. I'm just like psychoanalyzing it. But
Yeah.
if the dad is unemployed, why? Why is he unemployed? Why?
Oh, I
Why?
could tell you, he had rheumatoid arthritis. He had a physical
Mm,
ailment. He couldn't work. And the mother, there was one point where he pushed Starkweather into a window, but that's the only form of abuse I found. You
yeah,
know,
but just the fact that he did that speaks
it
volumes.
wasn't. Oh, of course, but it wasn't like Ramirez abuse. You know what I mean? It
No, no, but what I'm
wasn't
trying to
like
tell you is that like Springsteen, like, so this is what I'm reading Born to Run, the insights I'm getting is that the working class, these fathers were actually like not great, and if
yeah,
anything, caused massive psychological damage. The sad part about the Starkweather case is we'll never know.
yeah, yeah,
Only what pieces, criminologists have been trying to picture. But I think it's fascinating how you said that because on the song Adam Raised a Cain, by the way, Cain is maybe the first serial killer because he kills
yeah,
poor Abel
yeah,
in
yeah.
cold blood. And like he's spiteful, he's nihilistic
Yeah,
too.
rate,
Cain,
yeah.
there's a great book I'm reading, Perceptions of the Divine by Jordan Peterson,
Mhm.
and he has a chapter on um, uh, Cain and Abel,
Wow.
and just this is the start of violence. I mean, why did Cain kill Abel? In a way, it's kind of a mystery because we don't know. It tells us that God rejected Cain's sacrifice, right?
Hmm.
Like Starkweather, maybe his sacrifices were rejected.
Yeah,
And then he's like, man, you know what? There is no God. Like, screw you, dad. Screw you, mom. I'm born
yeah,
into this world. This place is bleak. I have nothing going for,
yeah, yeah,
and then find some sort of love and probably, says, probably convinced her, come with me, baby, on the road, kind of like actually kind of something to like Born to Run. It's Rufus
Yeah,
Winks is born to
kind
run,
of
you know.
is like Born to Run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just putting these pieces together because
Friends like us, baby, we were born to run.
I mean, no, think about it. That's how the way James Dean and Rebel Without a Cause sort of speaks, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of like a cool, kind of like, he has that driving jacket and, back in those days, car culture was major, right? With muscle
Oh, oh,
cars.
yeah, yeah.
But I
And
like to, go ahead.
I think also, like many other killers, Starkweather loved Caril Ann Fugate. He had a love for her. He was, in fact, maybe when you're that young, you don't know what love is, but he infatuated with her. He didn't want to kill her. Going
Which is interesting, right?
to Ted Bundy. Now, I told you I'm researching Bundy and I'm watching Bundy's girlfriend. There's a whole documentary on this lady, how Bundy lived with her and her daughter and his brother for 5 years before he started
Hmm.
the killing spree. And he was a normal dad, stepfather, taking them camping, you know, being a regular person. And he never wanted to kill her. He would go out and do awful things to women, come home and go in bed with her and not want to hurt her. What made that? Same thing with Green River. The guy was out killing prostitutes, but he went home to his wife. Didn't want to kill her.
And who was the creepy one? The clown killer with the
Oh,
basement?
Wayne Gacy. No,
He apparently, I remember I saw this. There was a great episode. I'm pretty sure it was this, The Unexplained. They had an episode on serial killers, which is chilling. Like
yeah,
I like the show, but that probably is one of the most chilliest episodes where they talk about how this guy was so normal. Everybody loved him in the community.
yeah.
I think he had a family, right? Normal life.
Oh, yeah. He was the thing about him. He was like in politics. Everyone loved him. He was like, I think he ran for mayor. And he was like the guy. He had a wife. He had kids. But his sick thing was kind of like Dahmer. He only killed young men.
Right.
He had like a homosexual kind of thing going on.
And kind of like rage, right? Like it's kind of like
Oh,
um
really?
it's kind of interesting. But yeah. But yes, Chief, shoot the questions away. Let's see.
Okay. So you might have answered this already, but
Yeah.
why did he become so ruthless and nihilist and kill
Hmm.
everyone?
I think I just like just answer that.
Yeah.
The nihilism. It's still a mystery, but I see as the product of nihilism, disillusionment.
Hmm.
There definitely was some sort of disillusionment there.
I think we answered a lot of my questions. Was his childhood that did it? Getting picked on at school, speech impediment, his
Yeah.
weird legs.
Oh
That,
yeah.
that gets thrown in there.
Oh yeah.
Was his father a huge influence? Who
Possibly.
pushed him into a window, and the mother actually divorced the father.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's a mystery, and it will what I see. Because if I was a psychiatrist, I like delving into family histories.
Yeah,
And you tell me the family history, and I'll tell you, who you are. Because
yeah. I mean, like when I say okay, it's bad abuse. If my father pushed me into a window, or if I push my kid into a window, I'm a bad father. Okay,
oh, I think that just pushing someone in the window is trying to kill them.
but at the same time, was it just like he was just so pissed because Starkweather was like an asshole, and he was they kicked him out of the house because he was full of rage, and the father was protecting himself because there's no other signs of abuse like going back to like Ramirez abuse, where his father put him in a cemetery and said, "You're gonna sleep there."
Well, but you know what it is, Cheech, in psychology, there's different levels of abuse, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There are different levels. So obviously, there's like sexual abuse. There is physical abuse, verbal abuse. I mean, people forget, a lot of, I noticed on the show Mindhunters, when they were talking to Ed
Yeah. Templar. Yeah. Yeah.
Templar, he was talking about some of the verbal abuse he got from his mom. That's the type of abuse.
Yeah.
So there's actually aggressive abuse, like there's different levels of abuse, and each of them have their own impacts on the psyche.
And
But
amazing about Ed Kempler, he's smart as fuck. So,
No, no, and not only him. I've seen like a lot of these. So I don't know if you know this in psychology, in the personality realm, there's the dark triad of personality traits, the Machiavellian, like
yeah,
sociopathic, psychopathic. Now, in order to be that, you have to be highly intelligent.
yeah.
You're if you're not intelligent, you're not a sociopath or a psychopath,
W-
right?
I don't think Starkweather was intelligent.
I
I
do.
do because
I do. Just the way he answers, he has a way of seeing the world.
okay, interesting. 'Cause you would
He defined it like he has his own philosophy, his own
think,
motive.
you would think like well, maybe that's a difference between a spree killer and a serial killer. Son of Sam was intelligent. He wrote letters.
But you know what it is? Have you seen Starkweather speak?
I've seen the letters, but there's no interviews with them.
Just based on that picture, he's intelligent.
Yeah,
I could tell like he even the way he gives answers, like he's straight up. He doesn't say like dad, like I was scared. That's he says he just straight up says it. First time, dad, I had fun. Me and her had some fun. And you can imagine him saying this,
yeah,
right? He's being honest.
yeah,
Which and just the fact that he was inspired by Rebel Without a Cause, which is such a legendary movie,
right,
and
right.
perhaps maybe we could watch it, understand further the motives. But I think he was intelligent.
Yeah.
If anything, I hate to say this, I think Sarah was kind of dumb.
Uh,
Not that she was dumb. I feel sorry for her.
innocent. Like I don't mean
Innocent. I'm
innocent.
sorry. Maybe that. No, no. I'm
I,
sorry. Not
child
dumb.
innocence.
She's innocent.
Yeah,
Naive.
naive is a
Um,
better word than innocent. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And clearly lacked the adult intelligence to realize what was going on.
yeah.
And also, she was a woman at the time. I mean, women weren't really that respected
No, no, not.
in the 1950s,
I mean, her goal was to be a mother and a housewife. There was no,
Yeah,
that was her future. Maybe she was pissed off at that. If she was
yeah.
she was just, I mean, she'll
No,
always.
and if I can quote John Lennon, happiness is a warm gun.
Yeah,
Like, I think John Lennon was ahead of something in
yeah.
understanding, the
And
psyches of these
unfortunately,
people.
he got shot.
Ironically, right? Yikes.
God,
By a psychopath too. Like also
yeah,
another
I
probably
know.
potential serial killer. Um if he wasn't caught. But yeah, I just think that yeah, definitely the family history is there that makes this man up. But yeah, more questions, go.
Okay. All right. So, kind of going back,
These are good.
was he born a killer or made a killer? I
And
don't. I think
that's the question.
he's born a killer
I think he was made.
from from his upbringing.
Yeah. I think I agree with Springsteen. There's some American disillusionment. Like, American society let him down.
Even at that young age, you think he?
Oh, that's detrimental. Yeah. Springsteen has some insight. By the way, for our viewers out there, read Born to Run, Springsteen's biography. Even if you're not a Springsteen fan, it is so good because Springsteen talks about the alienation that sometimes, like for Springsteen, if rock and roll wasn't a thing, he would have been nothing like Starkweather. So maybe that's why he kind of has this weird connection with him
Yeah.
because I feel like some society let him down, like
Maybe
something
if
family.
Starter picked up a guitar,
I mean,
or
and again, once again, Bob Dylan, John Wesley Harding, and the whole song cycle and Highway 61 Revisited, he was onto something too. I love America, but sadly, and Springsteen starts talking about this in Darkness and Edge of Town, America let some people down.
oh
And
yeah,
even Springsteen says the darkness on the edge of town is where we'll find answers. For Starkweather, he found the darkness on the edge of town and found his answer. But
yeah.
unfortunately, it's the darkness, right?
Thinking like he wasn't thinking, if I'm gonna keep killing, I'm gonna get caught. You know,
No, no, he was like, he just went.
where other serial killers, they don't want to get caught, but they
Right.
love fame. So is there a difference in the intelligence there? Then you know what I mean? Like say the son of Sam Uh,
Right.
Dom-
I see what you're saying.
Dahmer tried so hard not to get caught.
Right, right. Well,
Ramirez.
I feel like there's subtlety here, or like what's the word I want to use? Not subtlety, nuance,
Yeah,
because like Dahmer, right? Now, no offense, Dahmer and Ramirez are satanic. I don't care what you say.
yeah,
The and even the Edward Kempler,
yeah.
these people are satanic. And when I say satanic, I mean this is true evil. These people are, without going too much detail,
I mean, one guy eats people, the other guy kills his grandmother. His
right. One guy kills his
parents,
mother,
you know,
right.
eh,
And,
the,
and I feel like evil is intelligence, like this is evil. Like this
oh yeah,
is, you can't make this up. It's
no,
plotting. Of course he don't want to get caught. Ramirez doesn't want to get caught.
no.
Kempler claims he didn't want to get caught, but I'm sorry, he in the show says I wanted to get caught, right? Like I
Well,
don't th
they do want to get caught for the fame in some degree.
well, I feel like that's after though, but in the act, they just do it, and there's differences,
Yeah,
and that's a mix of like the psychopathy and sociopathy, right?
yeah,
Like you need a high level of intelligence, and that's the serial killer
yeah,
to not get caught, plot your victims,
yeah.
and once you don't get caught, and I like the show says a lot of them return to the scene to.
Well, that was one thing I learned, on this whole true crime thing by watching the Green River. And I recommend the movie Green River if you're into true crime. It's really good. I had just put in uh, Ted Bundy in Prime, and I was reading about the Green River murderer, and I knew Ted Bundy, but I was like, was Ted Bundy involved in that? I was confused. So I put it on, and of course, using the tactics of Hunter, they went to Ted Bundy, and he's like, just don't. It's sad when they find a dead body. The family should know right away, which is wrong. On like this is where police like the ethics are like, as a cop, you're not going to report that to the press. They left it. They let this girl rot there for 3 days. Whether she was a prostitute or not, she's still a human being. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So
mhm.
that you could fight that on a moral level with the police, you know. But this is how like you're gonna let somebody just stay there rotting and die. Maybe it was like 3 days later,
Mm.
and the Green River, I forgot the guy's name, the Green River killer, he went back, and that's exactly what Bundy said. He's gonna go back, and he's gonna either do things to the body, or he's gonna just be like, wow, they didn't catch me. Why? What did I do wrong?
Right, which is itself like a thrill too. I got away
Yeah,
with it. The fact I feel like that's again, so just going back to Starkweather, I feel like he was intelligent, first of all. And second of all, at that point, he realized he was onto something where when he murdered the first victim and he probably noticed the power, the
yeah,
thrill, and maybe he had this James Dean sort of persona.
yeah,
And at that point, it's like, well, I got nothing left to lose. F it. You get in my way, you're done.
exactly.
And clearly he gave no F's about dying either because, like but again, I see what your point is where there's a difference there.
Yeah, yeah.
I see where your point is though.
So, um, all right. Okay, now on to Carol Ann. Was Caril Ann Fugate really innocent? Was she kidnapped, held hostage during the murders, or was she a killer and sick just like him? I mean, that is
That's a mystery. I think it's tough. If I would go out on a limb, I would say she definitely was involved. Like there is no way. And obviously Starkweather approved of her because otherwise he would have killed her.
right, right. So did
And
you,
also this is sick, but the fact that he tried to rape the other girlfriend
yeah,
of
Carol
that
King.
guy, right, which is horrible, but Was there anything going on there with him and Fugate? Was she denying herself, like another little puzzle?
I mean, but
Was
like,
he maybe in a sick twist of mind respecting the beauty? Because there was actually some sort of sick love there, like not sick love, but love of
yeah.
Fugate.
Well,
And he defended her at first, right? Like he was like, it was all me, it was all me. But then as soon as she turned on him,
yeah,
wait, F you, what?
yeah. She threw him under the bus, you know. So, so you have mixed feelings about Fugate?
Mixed, but I am leaning that she was involved, and the family too. I mean, there's no way
I mean,
that she didn't hear the gunshots, the baby screaming.
yeah. I
There's
mean,
no
well,
way.
supposedly she was at school that day, and she was coming home.
That was her claim.
Yeah, but like, who would? That's worse than Ed Kempler, which she did. You know, mother, father, and baby. I mean, her grandmother's pretty bad, killing her grandmother.
Mm.
But I mean, like all three, your whole family's wiped out, and you kind of are just shrugging it off. That's a sick woman if that's true,
Mm.
you know. Or could Starkweather influence her that much, like a Charlie Manson?
Yeah, which could be also
I didn't even
you.
think about that angle. Like,
No, I mean there could have been some brainwashing involved because again, when we hopefully we have an episode on cults, but
yeah.
you know, a lot of intelligent women fall for these cults,
Oh
and
yeah.
you wonder why. Don't you have any brains? So I guess
Oh,
we shouldn't be too hard on Fugate, and obviously her being a victim, she's young. There's
yeah.
no way you're not going to tell me she was a victim.
But still taking human life at at a
But
young age.
what's crazy is that we don't know.
Yeah.
We're getting counter claims here. We
Mm.
don't know, but like you said, there is something chilling about her eyes, and you can kind
Oh,
of tell. Is she?
looks wicked. I gotta send you the footage of her. She just has this like stare, and you wonder, is she capable? And then what are the odds? Like you meet your killer soulmate. Like I love like you sent me the beginning to Pulp Fiction. That's like the greatest opening scene ever.
Dude, just a quick. If anyone knows that, and Cheech knows that, I'm a huge cinema fan. Like, I call movies like moving pictures, right? A
Yeah,
rush reference there,
no
which I
pun.
love that title for that reason, because they're moving pictures. But, uh, dude, Quentin Tarantino was onto something because the two characters in the beginning, like that is your, you know, Starkweather and Fugate, where
Oh,
where
you
the
know, he might have
girl.
that idea. He probably took that idea. You know.
I wouldn't be surprised. And he's like, "Oh, I love you, honey bunny." Like,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "I mean, I don't want to
He-
curse because of our viewers."
that woman always scared me.
So you can see how
Um,
unstable she is.
She was in I Married an Axe Murderer. Remember that? You ever see that movie?
No, no.
With the guy Austin Powers, the actor. Uh,
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers is. It's an old movie called I Married an Axe Murderer, and she's she's the girl he marries. So she's always a creeper, you know, to me. Great actor, but Natural Born Killers is also supposedly Fugate and Starkweather,
Hmm.
based.
I heard that's a great movie. I have to watch.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
I
Yeah.
have to put it on my list. But yeah, I'm a little indifferent. I'm not sure, but I am leaning that she was involved.
Only she knows, and she's still alive.
Oh,
So,
and Starkweather. If
Caril Ann Fugate, if you're hitting YouTube and you see Starkweather and you see these two long-haired guys talking about it,
yeah, if you
let,
want to come for an interview, please, we'll have you on the show.
let us know. Let us know the truth. You know, oh, she's still waiting for a pardon by the state of Nebraska.
Oh, you,
They won't give it to her.
yeah.
You know, they won't. They let. Why did they let her out? I guess in 18 years. Now that's a good question because I guess
Uh,
you want to explain about the child psychology and
yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that there was some sort of psychiatrist, psychologist that made the case for her that she was young. And again, young children are very susceptible. And those type of traumatic like effects on the mind have, trust me, you know, the mind keeps the score. Like,
Yeah.
Like it stays there. So maybe she got a case where she was young, she was a bit now, and also victim psychology was coming to the forefront.
Yeah.
That's where those ideas of Stockholm syndrome started coming in, where the victim starts to, even dating abuse, by the way, but the victim starts to sort of like identify with the assaultant or
Yeah.
kind of defending him
Yeah.
sometimes. It's a widely known thing, especially with robberies, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I think that, yeah, a little mix of that maybe gave her the case, you know what? Life sentence is too harsh.
Yeah.
Starkweather obviously was a perpetrator, and and just the fact that he tried raping and doing all this probably did some psychological, traumatic
Oh yeah.
manipulation, assault, trauma. Give her a light sentence. Some psychologists, psychiatrists,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
actually agree with. Like I would love to talk to Fugate and see like because I can kind of sometimes detect the psycho. You can tell the psychopath with their stare.
You
Like,
go back, I'll send it to you and our viewers out there. Go to YouTube, put in current affair, Caril Ann Fugate, the interviewer. She looks like she has no remorse.
mm,
She's doing the fake cry. She's like, oh yeah, I'm so sad. Boo hoo, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And you just know she's full of shit from the
mm.
interview. So, I mean, but she was lucky. She got out. She got to live from 1976 till I guess karma got her. If she did anything bad, because her husband died in a car accident,
Mm.
or maybe it wasn't karma because maybe she didn't do.
Also, can we talk about the husband? If you knew that of your
Oh
wife,
God!
I would have been like, wait, she must have lied to him.
Oh
There's,
yeah, he because I mean that's another thing. How do you marry somebody who's
yo, I will be afraid.
been to sleep in the same bed with them? I mean, this is something off the wall, but like just
It's like marrying Lizzie Borden. Like,
oh yeah, oh
why?
Lizzie Borden end up having a lesbian girlfriend later on.
But
I don't
was she aware of all this horrible stuff?
I don't know, but she
Uh,
was
that's another interesting mystery. The husband, like,
yeah,
did he not know? Did he not care? Did he believe Fugate?
I, I I'm sure he knew, right? The name, or you would Google, his last name was Claire, and they had a long relationship, and he ended up dying in a car accident. And she's still living in Michigan right now as we speak. Probably if she was 13 and 58, uh, she would probably be like, my mom was born in 50, so she would be like 13 years old. She'd be pretty old. Wait, let me see.
Mm,
In 58, my mom was 8. No, no, so she wouldn't be that old. Nine. She'd be like 81 right now, 82.
sounds right.
No, she's old. She's old, but she's not
Sounds right.
able to still talk about. But somebody like that would stay out of the limelight. I'm surprised she even went on Current Affair. You know, it was almost like when Billy the Artist was on Current Affair, and you could just see you know, the bullshit in that kind of thing.
Mm,
Like it's very similar. It's very
mm.
similar. So, but I think I have uh that's really it.
Okay.
Just movies. Maybe I have one more. And then why didn't she make a big deal to the police after they caught Starkweather and cry, oh my God, he killed my parents. I've been
Mm,
hostage. Thank God. Thank you guys. Thank you. Or at least put an act on, like the
mm,
Lizzie Borden act. That Lizzie Borden fell to her knees in the courtroom, and the jury believed Lizzie Borden. They believed her.
mm,
So um, so she got the Lizzie Borden treatment. Badlands, I recommend.
mm.
They take liberties with it. It's with Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek.
And by the way, that gave the title to the song, Bruce Springsteen song, Badlands.
Right. So he was all
Yeah,
over.
that movie affected him. So now I have to see it.
It's loosely based on it. Then the real story of Starkweather, which was made for TV, it actually, if you want to know, it's pretty much verbatim what we just did, but
Mm.
in moving pictures, like you said. Um, and then Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers.
I also have to see that. I also have to see that movie. And also, speaking of Oliver Stone, I saw his movie Born in the Fourth of July, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Dude, I was watching it in um where was I watching it? I think in Guatemala because it had some downtime. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oliver Stone
yeah, yeah.
makes me not like the Vietnam War.
That's a true.
Sad. And then actually, speaking of Springsteen, Born in the USA is a condemnation
Yeah.
of the war and the poor cases of the returning vets. They
Well,
were a
he
little
well, Springsteen wrote a song on, was it Nebraska, or a song
Born in
about,
the USA.
is about born on the 4th of July, right? Is it? And he read
He
the
was inspired by that.
book. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Born in the USA, and which and you see the universe, all this nice entanglement here.
yeah. I mean, Springsteen was into everything, almost like
Yeah.
a peer in a way. He dabbles
Oh,
with a lot.
oh yeah, 100%.
You know,
Per is interesting because he was into brainy philosophy and Iran,
yeah,
Iran, right, and Rand, and brought it down to levels that the person can understand.
yeah, yeah.
And whether or not you agree with it, but I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, he would have been a great philosophy teacher. You know,
Yeah.
you know.
Or fiction writer.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Has the knack of building worlds.
Which he was a hell of a writer. If you read, I don't know if you read any of his books, like
No,
Go.
I have to because now I'm on after the Springsteen bio. I also downloaded the Beatles bio too. This Beatles
Oh
bio. You never give me my money about the
yeah,
breakup. So I always love that history. So I'm in a biography kick. So I may download one of his books.
yeah. I wonder if anyone ever.
Getty has a book too, right?
Yeah, Getty has one. Geezer has one. There's a
They're
lot of.
all good, right? Usually they're
Oh,
rock biographies I know are fantastic.
I've read them all, and there should be one about Neil Peart. I'm sure somebody has wrote one. Someone should
Yeah.
write one about the guy.
I'm gonna watch I love the Rush documentary. I think that's one of the great about views rock documentaries are just so good. Actually, they released one on Billy Joel Cheech on HBO.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I did see bits of
the
that.
trailer, and I have it saved,
He
so I
was in
plan
a
on watching.
hospital over a girl, which was very fascinating. Like you would never know that.
And actually, you sent me a video, and I think it's in the documentary of him showing his piano style and how they kept comparing him to Elton John. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah, but I actually and actually, you know what's funny? Just a little side tangent. Because we actually made an episode of Billy Joel, because I think
Oh,
you and
yeah.
I are trying to get into his music and the connection between Dylan and Springsteen, right?
Yeah.
But he said in that cool video you sent me that um that Elton plays kind of like he's not knocking it down. Like he said
No,
he's
no, he was Elton John is more staccato. Like he does Benny and the Gents. Dun,
right ding.
dun. Yeah,
It's like impressionistic.
yeah,
Well, Joel, and let me make you a connection here. He starts playing ding, 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 like he starts being really intricate.
yeah.
There's a song, it's called just this. We get little extra cheap for our fans out there of our tangents, but he has a song, one of my favorites. This night.
Oh,
This night, da 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 da
yeah.
da 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 da
Very melodic.
da 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 da. Get this, he took it from Beethoven, and the reason why I figured it out is I was
Like
watching,
Madonna.
yeah,
Maybe.
I was watching the movie Little Women, which
Hmm.
I love. Have you ever heard of this movie Little Women?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Oh, no.
Recommend, make you tear up. But I saw both versions, and the new version, and actually might get the book too, because for our viewers
I
out
know
there,
famous book. Yeah,
yeah, now I'm gonna get the book, but recommend both movies. Who'll bring tears to your eyes? It's beautiful. But in the new one of the characters starts playing a piano tune, a Beethoven, and it's that song. I'm like, where have I heard this? Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Like that just shows you where he's grabbing his inspiration from,
Oh yeah. Studied
Which
classical, and you can hear.
and the Beatles did the same thing. The reason why they were amazing because they took classical
Yeah.
and gave it that pop edge, right? The
Classical music converts into rock music so easily, And now, I mean, obviously, heavy metal, it's so easy to do, but even in pop music, a good.
heavy metal is like the Beethoven.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Beatles is the Mozart. Like the Billy Joel Beatles are the
yeah, yeah.
Mozart. Bach is like the prog rock.
Hear it in prog rock, but it blends so well with
Yeah.
rock music or contemporary artists and jazz too. Jazz and classical fit right into rock.
Oh yeah, jazz is another one of those underrated. And it's funny, it was kind of lost in the rock world. There was some jazz fusion that was awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
It kind of took off, but
yeah,
then died really quickly. And actually, it's really interesting how hip hop caused the revival of it,
yeah.
which is fascinating, right? Like how that kind of works.
Yeah, because like the hipper DJs would use jazz.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they called it acid jazz back in the '90s. As samples, you'd hear like Miles Davis in the background.
Mm,
Um, what was I listening to? Leslie's been cranking some really cool old school hip hop. Um, that he was cranking up. I forgot who it was, an older rap group, and I heard Headhunters sampled by Herbie Hancock.
oh, right. That's iconic.
I was like, Les, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me hear that. And I was like, oh shit, that's Headhunters. And so that's an old funk tune.
Mm,
And like in the other room, you got DJ Daquan cranking up God knows what. I don't know what it is, you know. Uh, and then, it's like, okay, it's in two worlds here. Me and Daquan go at it every day. How 2025, it's the greatest year in the world for music. Everything is great. I'm looking at him going, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong. Um, that's why I love Rick Beato.
he definitely amazing dude. Shout out to Rick Beato. Hopefully he watches our video, thumbs up on it, and
No,
gives a
and
shout out. We're big
it,
fans.
because of Glenn, me and Glenn have been going back and forth with
Mm,
we're there's this new comedian out there. You got to check him out. His name is Jax Funny.
mm,
He does skits. He's kind of like Chappelle.
right.
So we're just infatuated with this guy's. We're just going. We're obsessed with this guy's humor. But each reel will lead to different reels, and you know, it's just amazing how music has changed. So
Hmm.
much that like I was talking to Joe about it. Like the only way a band could get known is through reels today. Oh, it's all about reels.
And TikTok,
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah, yeah. And that's
Yeah.
all. That's all 2 seconds, right, of music.
Well, you have to it's the one way to get your music out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's crazy. But I've been on watching these rails, and then there's all these cool stories. That's where I got the Billy Joel one from. And there's a lot of good like older 70s stuff. Like the Jimi Hendrix one that I sent you
Hmm.
talking about. I think it was about Bob Dylan and stuff like that.
It's funny because I saw that one. 'Cause Jimi Hendrix is another one that he was so ahead, and it's so
Oh,
sad that he passed away because what he did, he combined rhythm and blues, jazz,
oh yeah, yeah,
Delta blues, folk,
oh yeah,
in this strange mix that was amazing.
yeah, oh yeah. He was. There's no one like Hendrix that took it. The only guitar player I think who came out in recent years who was doing something unique like nobody else is Steve Vai.
Mm,
Like I mean, I would never compare anybody to Hendrix, but Steve Vai was doing things on the guitar that nobody was doing when he came
mm.
out in his prime, which made me.
Actually, and shout out also to um, Robert Fripp,
Oh yeah,
who was also doing things with guitar that nobody else was doing.
true. Yeah,
Uh, and his band, what am I
King Crimson.
forgetting? King Crimson,
Yeah,
which recommend if you guys want to listen to some.
yeah. Fripp was in his own. galaxy.
Yeah, yeah,
Nobody will ever fit,
yeah.
but
But we will conclude on that note.
yeah.
Starkweather here. Cheech, any last minute thoughts? Anything else you want to say?
Just to our viewers, please put in the comments how you feel. Was Caril Ann Fugate innocent? Was she a part of the killing spree? Um, what made Starkweather tick? You know, was he definitely born a killer, made a killer? Um, and I'm interested in spree killers now. I'm studying more. I'm trying to find more of those, which you don't really hear much about. They're usually all the serial killers. But he's the first. Psychologists use him as the basis of a
Hmm.
to study. And watch Mindhunters. Go out there.
I'm becoming a fan. Yeah.
You are into true crime. And Netflix, bring it back. God, why?
I thought they were doing a third season. I could have sworn.
No, they didn't do it. I mean, there's so much garbage. My mom is watching these stupid shows on Netflix, and I'm like, what the hell? And you get a show like Mindhunters, which is it's historical, factual truth.
No, it is amazing.
And what I like about it, they don't take liberties. It's real. They don't make stuff up. These people actually interviewed these serial killers, and they profiled them, and that's what made them catch a lot of these serial killers in the 80s, because remember, now this is in the 70s. Mindhunter
Mm.
takes place, maybe it gets into the early 80s after the Son of Sam.
Hmm.
But I don't think they made it up to Dahmer, which they would have. I think, if they had a third season, they could have got Ramirez and Dahmer,
Mm.
talked about them. Maybe some of that stuff is made up, but I think they did definitely interview true serial killers. So I recommend that show. But on that note, this was a great episode. Hopefully, we educated you on the first American spree killer, Charlie Starkweather. Research him, check him out. If you're a true crimer, he's definitely interesting. And there's that mystery that we'll never know.
Mm.
Only Caril Ann Fugate knows, and if she's out there, contact us.
And,
Love-
and mystery immortalized in Springsteen's song Nebraska. So
Oh
go
yeah,
out and listen to that song and the album Nebraska.
definitely.
But yeah, Chiefs, this was
Awesome.
enlightening, amazing. Um, I guess we gone down this dark path, but now we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and
Yeah,
its title is Born to Run, which we'll see you on that side
yeah.
on the next episode. But yeah,
Cool.
Chief, thank you. Really well researched and very
Oh,
enlightening and thought provoking.
thank you, and thanks for all the great psychological breakdowns on this. This is really important. So until our next, and I'm working on a couple of them. I'm getting obsessed with Bundy, so I think
And Ted Bundy might be a part one and two.
yeah, because we could really get into that guy's mind because he was so charismatic. That
Yeah, and that's a whole other. That's now we're delving into cults too.
that's the devil right there.
Yeah,
Coming at you with a hand.
that's a true wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, that's a great point. He was a good looking guy. He knew how to get women to come to him. And Jesus, he was. I think I always say this after every true crime. Bundy might be the sickest one.
I think we just keep filing them out. It's like, man,
Celiac.
we should do like a ranking the most sickest. Who is the most
Gotta do
sickest?
top 10. Ed Kempler killed his
We're
grandma.
gonna be like, well, he didn't decapitate women, but he did have,
And
he
Bundy,
did do stuff with their corpses. I guess that makes it pretty sick.
they all have their own sick style that they unique, twisted style out there. And then in the 70s book I'm reading, there's so many other ones that are just as sick, but they never got as popular.
Mm.
They were local. They got caught very quickly. The ones you don't
Mm.
know, they got caught quick. The ones that didn't get caught quick, like Dahmer and Son of Sam, Ramirez, they were the ones that were more popular because everyone
Mm.
was freaking out. So
Mm. All right, Cheech. On that note, we'll conclude here. Thank
yeah,
you, Cheech, and thank you for our viewers out there. Subscribe, give this video a like, leave a
yes,
comment. Cheech asked a few thought-provoking questions. Tell us, we
Yeah.
would love to hear your opinions on Starkweather. And this is Cheech and Manny. This is the Cheech and Manny show, true crime special. Until the next one.
Take
Cheech,
care. Peace out.
peace out.